come to give you what you love. It's time to give you what you love. I'ma give you what you love. Give you what you love.
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. What's going on? It's your girl, Desi, and I'm here for day 2 guest starring for Andrea Lawful Sanders. You are tuned into The Source, and baby, we had a good time yesterday. So delighted to be with you guys once again. Yesterday, we had a conversation about if I knew then what I know now, and I really had a great time with you guys. Listen, as you can see and tell, I love showing love, and so we had some really good conversation. I love the fact that you guys called in. You gave your nuggets of wisdom. I'm a note taker, so I wrote stuff down, and I really have some good stuff to think about. So once again, as of yesterday, we talked to Derek. Shout out to you and Prince and Ron and Joe and Philip, Z and Cynthia, Maurice and Viola. Thank you so much for calling in. And listen, if you just want to greet, you say, hey, girl, I remember you from yesterday. You want to set the tone. We're going to set the atmosphere for today's conversation because it's going to be heavy. So told you guys that, yeah, talk radio is something special, baby. I'm talking nonstop for 3 hours of us conversing and having really good conversations about really important issues. So if you just want to check in right now, you want to say, hey, girl, how you doing? Tell me how your day was. I am absolutely cool with that. The number to call is 215-634-8065. That's 215-634-8065. So, Desi, what are you going to talk about today? I'm so glad you asked. Today, we're going to have a conversation that's a bit more used to what I think you guys are used to. So I know that the amazing Andrea Lawful Sanders, you know, she talks a lot about, you know, community activism, and she talks about public policy and government and things of that nature. Want to make sure that I kind of, you know, get my feet wet a little bit into that. So today, our topic is, where is the church? Ooh, where is the church? So in regards to the things that are going on in Philadelphia, we know that there's lots of gun violence. We kind of tapped into that yesterday. And we know that there's a lot going on in our city, and kind of wanted to talk to some faith leaders who are doing non-conventional ways of trying to combat the issues that we're going through. There are a lot of people doing the good work, fighting the good fight to make sure that things are done and to make sure that folks are able, you know, to walk these streets in freedom and peace. You know, it's a different time. I can be honest. There are some, you know, I'm a big girl. Shout out to the big girls. Huh? Beautiful, intelligent, and gifted. And there are some goals that I have. And so in my brain, you know, I wake up about 6:30, 6:45 in my mind, in my keyword in my mind, right? And I walk around the block maybe 6 or 7 times. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like, excuse me, sometimes I'm afraid to do so because I'm like, I don't know, like I'm afraid a little bit, you know. There's certain things I just don't want to have to do, and our world is changing so rapidly. And so, yeah, I'm bringing some I'm talking about faith leaders on today, who are up for the challenge of this conversation. They say, Desi, you want to have this conversation? Bring it, girlfriend. And any caller that wants to have the conversation, to bring it on. So, yeah, we got some heavy hitters today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have some of the most amazing pastors. We're going to have G. Lamar Stewart, Pastor G. Lamar Stewart, pastors at Taylor Memorial Baptist Church. We're going to have Pastor Clarence Wright, pastor of the Love Zion Baptist Church, and Pastor Edward Buster Fields, pastor of Apostolic Seed of Love Ministries. All right. So, yeah. So let's talk about it real quick. You know, the church has had, it's been foundational in getting things done, in mobilizing communities, especially communities of color, right? And if you don't believe it, you know, just think back to the days of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Think back to, you know, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, the list goes on. And if you want to make it modern, you don't believe me, think about when it's time for an election year. You know what I'm saying? Don't they walk up where they go? All right, they come to the houses of God, right? In the mosques. And so it's important that we are empowered, and we know you know what I mean, that we have the power as a community to have these really hard and tough conversations with leaders of faith so that we can say, you know, there are certain expectations that I have of you, and I need you to stand in the gap for me, faith leader, when you talk to these constituents, when you talk to people and say, look, I need you to stand up, and this is what I need you to say when you say it, right? And so we're going to have those tough conversations today. Thoughts about what do people think can be done? You know, it's baffling to all of us to kind of figure out how we got here, when, you know what I mean, we got this far, but the fact remains is that we're here, right? And what has to be done is that we have to implement and do things in a new way to assure that things get back on track. I still believe, you know what I mean? I'm just one of those crazy people who believes. I always see the good. I always see that a brighter day is coming. And so I'm one of those people. I still believe in the good. And so I'm really excited about today's conversations. Again, get this number locked in your mind, in your phone, because you want to be a part of this conversation, especially, you know, when the conversation gets juicy and you done, and we ain't got time to be saying a number over and over. You're going to want this. The number is 215-634-8065. Once again, 215-634-8065. Got a DM yesterday in social media after the show was over, you know, saying, you know, how you guys enjoyed and you liked the energy. So thankful for that. Listen, it occurred to me to invite you guys to follow me all day, every day at your big girl Desi on Instagram, YABIGGIRL. Again, YABIGGIRL. And you can also have, if you have any inquiries, DesiBooking@gmail.com. We're going to keep the love flowing. So the conversation today, the pastors will be coming in around maybe like 1:30. We'll kind of, you know, I wanted to warm it up, you know what I mean, get the party started. And so I wanted to read you guys something. So I was reading the Huffington Post. I kind of researched, you know, the history of the Black church and how they have been instrumental in assisting, you know, with things that are needed in the community. And so I read this passage, this part of it, and it says, with violence rampant in our community, homelessness and unemployment at an all-time high, I question the role of a Black pastor and what they have in helping to alleviate these issues. Is it really all on them? I believe that it's a civic duty to those who are leaders, especially pastors, to lead the change with the Black community to positively change it. Pastors are leaders 24/7. What a pastor says and does makes a difference not only within the church, but beyond the pulpit. So often in our community, we hear what is supposed to be done, what should be done, and what not to do, but do not see a comprehensive guide to lead us in the right direction. It is solely the role of the Black church to make a difference? No, but the duty of those who lead the work towards tangible solutions and encourage others to do better and live is their job. Again, this is from the Huffington Post. And guess what, guys? This is from 2013. Hello? So this is an ongoing conversation, but it's something that we're going to continue to converse about because hello. Okay, so back in the day, it was one thing. Today, it's a new thing. It's not going to change, but the need for leadership will always be there. And so not that you have to be a faith leader to be a leader, right? Because I know that I got folks right now listening to me that's like, sis, I'm a leader. I'm a sure enough leader, okay, in my community, and always out there on the streets doing what I have to do. But I was just intrigued to kind of hear what these faith leaders are doing to try to combat what's going on in the streets. Know that the people that I've invited today are people that I have witnessed either myself or watched via social media with them doing non-conventional efforts to kind of really combat and get into the streets and do something different. People have different views on what's going to help change things. People really have different views. Some people say programming. Some people say invest all the money in programming. Some people say housing. Some people say continued incentivization. I, for one, I can speak for myself. Over incentivizing people does not assist, in my opinion. I think incentivizing is one thing. People need help, yes, but over incentivizing leads to creating a people who have a a social dependency that we can't bounce back from. And so I'm just not one of those people who believe in over incentivizing. I believe you want to eat, you got to work. I was raised like that. I live by that. I raised my children by that. You know what I mean? And so, of course, there are means and times and means where you can't. But I believe that, yeah, you should have some sort of work ethic, and want to get things done. What do you feel? I always leave it open for you to comment and say, what are you feeling? What are you feeling about faith leaders? What are you feeling about the community? What are you feeling about work not, want not? No work, no eat. 215-634-8065. Again, 215-634-8065. If you even have a comment about stimuluses and PPPs and carrying on. If you want to have that conversation before the faith leaders come on, we can talk about that too. How do you feel about the incentivization, and what do you think it's contributing? How is it contributing, currently to the community? How do you feel that has done well or not? Make the call. So yeah, holler at your girl, 215-634-8065. Let's see, the weather today. I wanted to say, like, y'all remember yesterday, for those of you who were tuned in yesterday, your girl was struggling. Okay, your girl was sure enough struggling. It was hot like fire. I was sitting in my living room, and I'm telling you, I'm talking about major warm around about 2:30. So yeah, your girl, I got my things in place today. I am ready to rock and roll. Here's the cool thing about WURD. We are on Facebook. You can see us, you can hear us simultaneously, and you have the ability to call in. So it's great. It's just a win-win-win situation. Also, make sure that you become a WURD member for WURD. All right. Make sure that you get that membership. It's a really, really cool opportunity, and it's a reasonable rate, right? So make sure you do that. You are tuned into WURD Radio, WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, the place to be. And if you haven't picked up on it, the reason why it says media is because it's everything. You're not just relegated to radio. The number to call is 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065. The conversation today, once again, is where is the church? Are you wondering that? Have you said, well, Desi, I don't know how I feel about that statement, because I know for a fact that my faith leader, and it doesn't necessarily have to be church, right? But my faith leader is out in the streets doing what they have to do. I see them in the community. I hear them. You know what I mean? I donate. I make sure that I'm helping. If you're like, I already know, what's going on, and we're doing our part, speak up to that too. 215-634-8065. Shout out to Purple Queen and her husband. Always see them in the community, doing things, whether it's, giving food or being in the midst of things that are going on. I remember during the riots, they were like front and center, and I'm texting her. I'm like, sis, you good? She's like, I'm good. I'm with my husband. We're all good. So shout out to the people who get out on the front lines, who are not afraid to get out there and say, you know what? I'm going to do this because this is my life's work. This is what I believe I'm supposed to do. And I'm unafraid. I'm unbothered. So yeah. So if you guys are out there on the front lines, I want to hear from you. I commend, frontline workers. I remember last year, after the riots, right after the riot happened, the next day there was a walk down Broad Street with the faith leaders. And at the time, I was injured. I remember my ankle was injured, but I was burdened to go out. I wanted to do something so bad. Like, I wanted to be a part. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a support vehicle. And so at the time, I had this big old massive truck, this huge truck. And so I went to the store, loaded up with water and chips and, candy and orange juice and wipes and, sanitizer, all kind of stuff, a CPR kit, first aid kit, had it in my trunk, and I drove behind them. So I had to convince the police, amen. I had to convince the police, look, I'm the support truck. So I made a sign that said, what was it? A March support truck. Put that on my truck, and I followed them. I followed them behind as they marched. I came. My daughter came with me. You know what I mean? You got to expose the children to the good as well, and teach them to get in good trouble, huh? So I had her with me. And so as we would walk, if somebody would show need, somebody's thirsty, they're stopping, they're bent over, they're tired, jump out, draw them a water, give them some candy, do something. And so that was, the way I was able to lend my support. But when you see it, it kind of burdens you. It makes you want to do, I can only speak for myself, but it really gave me pride to be of support. And so although I wasn't like one of the people that was marching, I was there as a form of support to make sure that those who were marching stayed strong, you know what I mean, and didn't fall off and weren't thirsty and weren't hungry, and you know what I mean, were made sure that they were good. So doing your part is important. We all have a role to play in getting this world to be a better place. I love people who just will to positively affect the world. It's our duty. It's what we need to do. It's what we're going to have to continue to do. And especially for those of us who are parents. So we are preparing the world for our children. That's the kind of mindset I stay in. I'm preparing the world for my children. So when I leave here, that I know the world will be a tad bit of a better place because I did my part. And so that's the goal. All we can do is what we can do. All right, it's your girl, Desi. I am guest starring for Andrea Lawful Sanders on The Source. You're tuned into WURD Radio, Progressive Black Talk Media. We're going to have a wonderful time. Once again, the conversation today is going to be, where is the church? Have some guests that are coming. I'm going to have Pastor G. Lamar Stewart come from the Taylor Memorial Baptist Church. Going to have Pastor Clarence Wright come from the Love Zion Baptist Church. And I'll also have Pastor Edward Bustafields from the Apostolic Seed of Love Ministries. We're going to get down and dirty in the conversation today. And guess what? You can be a part. You can join in. You can chime in. You can ask questions. You can, whatever you feel, it is an open forum today. The number that you're going to be calling, store it in because you don't want to be, trying to figure it out. 215-634-8065. That's 215-634-8065. We're going to pay some bills and be right back at your girl Desi on The Source on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Stay close.
Build skills needed for employment through the Philadelphia Skills Forward Initiative, a free upskilling program for workers displaced by the pandemic, those whose jobs are at risk for automation, and Black and brown workers. Complete courses focused on digital literacy, career management, and professional skills for a successful career. Get started today at chamberphl.com.
Hi, this is John.
Hi, this is Juanita, owners of JD's Auto Body and Painting. We're located at 6300 Wayne Avenue, right there at the intersection of Wayne and Washington Lane.
We really like to thank all you WURD listeners for the support that you've given our business, and we really hope to see you in the future.
JD, tell them about our products and services we have.
We have a new state-of-the-art paint shop along with our body shop and detail shop. We can help you with the dents and scratches from the winter season.
Come to JD's Auto Body and Painting. Come on out and check us out. We're still honoring that WURD 10% discount. Give us a call, 215-848-5949. Again, 215-848-5949.
Thanks again for supporting our business. We really appreciate you.
See you at JD's Auto Body and Painting.
Comcast has built a broadband network with one simple purpose: to keep customers connected. In the last 10 years, they have invested $30 billion to keep America's largest gig-speed broadband network fast, secure, and reliable. And they work around the clock to build a better network every single day. Learn more at comcast.com/network. Hope Partnership Middle School offers a quality, subsidized independent school education to students and families in North Philadelphia. Located at 2601 North 11th Street, Hope offers small class sizes, personalized learning, a research-based curriculum, dedicated teachers, and a graduate support program, which supports students through high school graduation. They are currently accepting applications for 5th to 7th grade students for September. For more information, please contact them at info@hope-partnership.org.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Source on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM, WURD.
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Yes, little Jilly from Philly, making it illy. Oh, I love me some Jill. That is my song. All right, you guys, what's up? It's your girl, Desert. You're tuned into The Source once again. I'm your girl, and I'm guest starring for Andrea Lawful Sanders on The Source, having a good time. Shout out to all those who showed up yesterday. Remember, you know what I mean? Hearing you guys' voices gives me life. I really, really, really enjoyed myself. I know, remember, we had a fun fact yesterday. Told you guys that Andrea told me that y'all call her mother, and it's crazy because we have the same term of endearment. My friends and all my listeners, they call me mother, so it's really, really cool. And you guys are really blessed to have her here with you. So I hope that you've been enjoying my time. I'm enjoying my time guest starring. Yesterday we talked about if I knew then what I know now, but today we're going a little bit deeper. We're talking about where is the church. Gonna have some faith leaders join us in a few moments. Pardon me, as we discuss the responsibility, the roles, you know what I mean, of the church and the community, given everything that's going on right now in the community. It's a different world, guys, and we know that, you know what I mean? And so folks who were like, and, you know, back in the day, I know they're like, duh, it was different then too. We felt that same energy, but it seems like we're so far removed now from the things of old. And so how are people non-traditionally attacking what's happening in the streets? Are people doing things the same way? What are folks' thoughts in regard to how we should handle these issues? That's what we're talking about today. The number to call is 215-634-8065. It's 215-634-8065. Once the guests come, if you have any input, if you have any questions, by all means, if you hear something that makes you say, I don't know how I feel about that, or I'm in complete agreement with you, leader, make sure you call. Make sure you call and say your piece. You know what I mean? This is an open forum for conversation. The listeners of WURD are, y'all are the bomb. I'm loving y'all. I love your input. I love how you express yourselves and say what you mean and mean what you say. And it's all good, right? So make sure that you take the opportunity to call in today when you hear something that sparks your interest. So we are going to have three faith leaders with us today. And then we will transition in the latter part of the afternoon, to allowing you guys to just openly vent about, what you heard, to if you have any ideas on planning for yourselves, if you or your organization is doing something in the community and you'd like to just put it out there and kind of let people know some things that you have going on, if there's a walk, if there's a book bag drive, if there's whatever's going on, I encourage you to know, what, let's tap into this little book bag things. Maybe it's me, and it is. It's me. I know folks need book bags, but instead of the school supplies, given what's going on, and you know what? Maybe I'm late because I haven't gone to one, so maybe it's like, girl, be quiet and go get a book bag before you talk, huh? But honey, can y'all put some Clorox wipes in there? Can y'all put honey, because they finna be $15 again. I remember mid-pandemic, I saw one container for like $15 or it was $17. So why they still $3.49? You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking, when somebody got a book bag drive coming up, throw a little Clorox wipe in there, little pack of masks. You know what I mean? Just let's be smart, because pencils are still what, 2 cents, 33 cents for a box or whatever. Put that in there too. But please, by all means, don't forget to make sure that we have those things that are protective in those book bags as well. All right. It's your girl Desi, having a good time with you. As you can notice, honey, or should notice and hear, I love to insert humor. I love to have fun. I love to be lighthearted. But there are some issues where it's like, ain't nothing light about this, and we may transition into some of those issues today. Want to let you know that the forum is open for you to say whatever you need to say. You're going to hear from some folks who are doing their very best, the best that they possibly and humanly can to get things done. But it literally takes a village, guys. It's not all on these faith leaders. And so earlier I read the role of the pastors, the role of the churches and community. Once my leaders get on, I'm going to read that. That's going to be my opening question for them, and kind of gauge how they feel about that. I want to gauge how they feel about the passage that I read to you guys. And then we're going to move on from there and kind of hear some of the work that they're doing in the community and how they are, attacking this stuff head on. Do you feel, if I have time for, let's see, I think I have time for one caller before they come. If you'd like to be that caller, do you feel like we'll ever get there? Like, what is your true feeling about the state of community right now? Do you feel like we'll ever get there? What are your thoughts? 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065. Prior to our faith leaders coming, I have time for one call. Again, I have time for one call. If you'd like to call in now and just be candid with me and answer the question, what are your thoughts? I want to hear. We got Ron from North Philly. What's up?
Hello, Deb. How you doing? My comment is this. The church, the battle hymn of the church. I will trust in the Lord, and I'm going to stay on the battlefield until I die. And that means all the initiative that we're doing today. And it's a verb, not just a song. And what they have done in the civil rights movement and the ministers must never, and I say this just in making my comment, stay on the battlefield. Heaven needs no help. Heaven don't need no help. And that's why we have the ministers and all the concerned neighbors that come from the four corners of Philadelphia to try to make a difference. Or on earth as it is in heaven. So I just want to say that we always remember that was the song, one of the songs that gave us inspiration to go on and to do what we have been able to achieve today. So I'm waiting to hear what the minister said. And let me say this to you, ministers. When you do your work down here, your song will be, let the work I've done speak for me.
Speak for me.
After you go on. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
I love it, Ron. Thank you so much. And I love that song, Ron. You don't know. That is one of my favorites. You said it, trust in the verb. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you reminding us that we have to trust, and then we also have to do. I thank you for calling in, Ron. Ron, you are amazing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. We are transitioning into our time with our faith leaders, and I'm so thrilled. Once again, I'm your girl, Desi. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your girl, Desi, and I'm guest hosting for Andrea Lawful Sanders. You're tuned into The Source, having a good time so far. And today, from yesterday, we kept it very lighthearted. We kept it light and fluffy, but today we are going in a little bit more. We're going to have a conversation. And the title of our conversation today is, where is the church? Are you asking that question? If you've asked that question, you're going to get some answers today. The folks that I've chosen to bring on today are doing the work in the community in non-traditional ways, ways that some have not seen, ways that some may say, oh my goodness, are you safe? Are you okay doing this? But they are committed to making a change in the community. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the three men of the hour this afternoon. I'm so very happy because not only are these faith leaders, but they are brothers beloved. I can genuinely and honestly say that I believe that they care for me, and I know that they care for the community. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to hear from Pastor G. Lamar Stewart, my pastor of the Till Memorial Baptist Church. We're also going to hear from Pastor Clarence Wright, Love Zion Baptist Church. And we're going to hear from Pastor Edward Buster Fields, Apostolic Seed of Love Ministries. My bros, what's going on? Everybody, come on, say something to my folks. We're going to start off with Pastor G. Lamar Stewart. We'll go on to Pastor Clarence Wright, and then we'll go to Pastor Edward Buster Fields. Brother, good afternoon.
Desiree, thank you so much for having us on today. And shout out to Andrea Lawful Sanders, who I call Auntie and Mother, for giving you room to co-host today. But really excited to be on and be a part of this conversation. And a major salute to those who are joining today. Dr. Clarence Wright, who's doing an amazing job at Love Zion, who's a brother beloved, and also my brother from Susquehanna Avenue.
Yes, indeed.
Edward Buster Fields. So glad to be a part of this conversation today.
Wonderful. Pastor Wright.
Hey, thanks for allowing me to come on and stand among these tall trees that we're here today. I've always admired you, Desi, and the work that you do. on the radio and in the community. And these two brothers are absolutely brothers beloved, two of my favorite pastors in the city of Philadelphia. So I thank God to be among them.
Amen. Pastor Buster.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's so good to be amongst my friends. This I don't just say that, but I really believe that you all are my friends, constituents. And shout out to you, Desi, killing the game, always working, always doing something that's impactful, right? And shout out to Pastor G. Lamar Stewart. I call him the GOAT. Like, he's literally doing ministry that is totally different and that's needed. He's not just doing it for lights, cameras, and action, but he's doing it really to see a difference. And shout out to Pastor Clarence Wright, a big brother, my friend, my brother, killing it right on the other side of North Philly, right? So excited about this opportunity and appreciate it.
Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, want to remind you as my panelists that not only are we on Zoom, we are also on Facebook Live, and then we're also on the air. So there's a lot going on. I'll be checking back and forth. And depending on the comments that you bring forth, it will spark an interest for a phone call. In the event that a phone call comes, I will allow you to finish your statement, but then we will go and I'll tell you that we have somebody on line one, and then we'll proceed. So I wanted to start off with, let me see. I wanted to start off with, so before you guys came, I read a passage from the Huffington Post as of 2013. Again, the question of the role of the church has not changed. There's nothing different, but I wanted to read it, and then I would like each of you to comment in this order. So Pastor Buster, you can go first, and then Pastor Wright, and then we'll close off with Pastor G. Lamar Stewart, and then we'll take a commercial break and dive right into the good work that you guys are doing. The passage says, with violence rampant in our community, homelessness and unemployment is at an all-time high. Again, this is 2013. I question the role that a Black pastor has in helping alleviate these issues. I believe it's the civic duty of those who are leaders, especially pastors, to lead with the charge of the Black community to positively change it. Pastors are leaders 24/7. What a pastor says and does makes a difference not only within the church, but beyond the pulpit. So often in the community, we hear what is supposed to be done and what should or should not be done. But is it the duty of the pastor alone to lead towards tangible solutions and encourage others to live and do better? Pastor Buster.
That's a great question. And it's not really, it's a great question. And it's a question that most of us are already operating in right now. And I think most of the times we like to magnify what those aren't doing, but we don't really applaud those who are really out there doing the work, right? And the pastors should be on the front line doing it. We are essential workers. We should be out there spreading the message of the suffering Savior to a lost humanity, right? To a lost group of people, and not even to a lost group of people. There might be someone that's suffering that knows who God is, right? So we always like to make it seem like those who are suffering or homeless don't know who God is. No. You know, you could be homeless and still saved.
Come on.
You can still be homeless and just have a struggle, you know, whatever. So I think it is our assignment. It is our duty to go out there and not just be in the four walls of the church, but to go outside of the four walls as we have been doing and spread the message of Jesus Christ. And it's more than just giving out apples and bananas and canned goods on every first day. But we got to find a way to strategically implement some level of ministry where we can be a help to our community. And you have to know your demographic, right? If you pastor out there in Willow Grove, they might not need canned goods every first Friday. You know what I'm saying? But if you pastor on Susquehanna Avenue, or where me and Pastor Stewart and Pastor Wright, where we are stationed regionally, then that community might need more assistance. So I say to pastors out there, just don't do what other pastors are doing, but take a close look at your arena to where you are and find out what's the needs of the community. And you can't find out what they need if you don't find out who they are. You can't clean the fish that you have in court. So get out there, right? Sit down and learn who the people are. Have a conversation. Do what Pastor Stewart is doing, and go out there. And don't go out there with your phone, right? Don't go out there trying to take pictures, right? Because you ruin the interaction
while you're doing it. Yeah.
More so like a photo op rather than an opportunity for ministry. So we definitely have to go out there. And I truly believe, and my bigger brothers right here can elaborate more on this, or I truly believe that the preachers, that the clergymen, interfaith leaders, we have really stepped up during this pandemic.
Yes,
I really believe that majority of the church
indeed.
has really gotten out there. Even the older pastors, right?
Yes.
Like even the older senior statesmen,
Yes.
they might not be able to be out there, but they have found a way to partner with nonprofits to get food and clothes and opportunities and shelters, even for the homeless demographic. We got to find a way to minister to them, not just during Christmas and Thanksgiving. You know, there's a mass group of people who want to support the homeless community during that time. But they need food in the summer.
Come on. You know what, Pastor Buster, don't get me started. We got to pay some bills. I knew it was going to be fire. I got 3 gems already. Y'all know I'm a note taker. My pastor knows I'm a note taker. And I already got 3 nuggets. First of all, you can't skin a fish that you ain't caught. What you say?
Can't clean a fish you haven't caught. I got that one out of Pastor Wright's book.
I'm a caught fish, and I know my listeners are caught up. We're about to pay some bills. We're going to come right back. It's your girl, Desi, guest starring for Andrea Lawful Sanders on The Source on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Stay close.
The Mattress Man is a second-generation family-owned mattress specialist business since 1988. Open 7 days a week, located at 7421 Stanton Avenue. The Mattress Man discounts Serta, memory foam, orthopedic, and Comfort Tech mattresses every day. You deal directly with the owner, Julian, to ensure you get the best price and best service. The Mattress Man offers same-day delivery on most models to most areas. Ask about the WURD discount. Call 215-424-5550.
In Pennsylvania, it's now illegal to sell tobacco products, including cigarettes, cigars, chewing tobacco, vapes, or electronic cigarettes to anyone under 21. Stores can get fined up to $1,000 for selling tobacco to someone who is underage. Know the law. Check IDs. Post your retailer license. Make sure only employees have access to tobacco products and only sell tobacco products to customers aged 21 and older. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Join me, Solomon Jones, Man Up PHL, and WURD Radio on Thursday, August 19th at City Hall to take action against gun violence, mentor young men, help with social media or social work, do community outreach, or recruit for our paid mentoring program, Listening to the Streets. That's Thursday, August 19th, 6 p.m. at City Hall's courtyard. Man up to stop gun violence. For more information, go to wordradio.com.
This is not a fad for us.
We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are
undeniably,
indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media.
WURD.
You're listening to The Source on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Join WURD for the Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour. This year we celebrate West Oakland, Mantua, Northwest, and South Philly. Tiffany Bacon will broadcast live from a different neighborhood each Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Our next stop is West Oak Lane at the West Oak Lane Senior Center, 7210 Ogontz Avenue. Win concert tickets, meet special guests, and stand with WURD. Be a part of the movement to amplify the voice of the Black community and show your support and join or renew your 4WURD membership on the site. That's the Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour at West Oak Lane Senior Center from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, Friday, August 20th. Be there. All right, you guys, it's your girl Desi, and we are back. We are back at The Source. All right, you are in The Source. You're tuned in Look, you tuned into the greatest, all right? We're having a good time. We are with some of the best pastors in the city of Philadelphia. For those of you who are just tuning in, lock this number in your phone, because if you have something to say, by all means, it is welcome here. 215-634-8065. Once again, 215-634-8065. So we're picking back up where we left off. We're going to hear from Pastor Clarence Wright and then Pastor G. Lamar Stewart. If you're just tuning in, this is the question that's being answered. Is it the duty of those who lead to work towards tangible solutions and encourage others to do and live better? The topic today is, where is the church? Pastor Wright.
Yeah, thanks for the question. I absolutely believe it is the responsibility of pastors to see to the needs of the whole person. And this is historic in the Black church. It's not limited to the Black church. I think the Black church has gotten better credit than the church universal, but it has been particularly emphasized in Black communities. But the reality is the church universal has always been on the front line of doing things outside of the four walls of the church to see to the needs of the people.
Yeah.
People know this, but they forget it because they don't understand the historic context. When you need to go to a hospital, you're probably going to go to a hospital that a church founded. If you need to go to school, you need to go to a university. You probably are going to go to a university that a church founded. If you need a program to help you in finances or something else, you're probably going to do it in a place that a church founded. The issue is that we have become detached, and the contemporary view of church has become detached from the work that the church has always done. Temple University was founded in the basement of a Baptist church on Broad Street. University of Pennsylvania is Quaker. St. Joseph's, Catholic. LaSalle, Catholic. If you name all of these places, all of the services that we know about, they originated with churches. And it has not changed to this day. It just looks different, and there are different needs to serve the community. There are some who fall back on what's already been done, and then there are others, like I believe the three of us who are here today, who are committed to keep doing the work and to serve what the hymn writer Charles Wesley called this present age. To serve this present age, my calling to fulfill. Those words are more than 200 years old, but they're still applicable today. We have
Hold on, Pastor Wright. Hold on, because for those of y'all who are not tuned in to the broadcast, they just all did the pastor head simultaneously. They just did the Bible pastor head. The yes, sir. They did the yes, sir. All right, go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, there are needs in every one of our community. The key is to have a community mentality. And I think one of the challenges, if you're looking on the, those who are not, because the reality is there's a lot of us who are doing the work. There are some who have fallen into other habits that keeps them from the fullness of the work. And that's not to deride anyone. We're all learning. None of us are perfect. We're all trying to figure out this pastoral journey. And I think most pastors came through our hardest year ever last year, detached from our flocks. But it's instances like that helps to push us to understand new ways to do things. One of the issues is in the last couple generations, there seems to be more of an emphasis on church as an experience and not a community. It's an experience that you come to be a part of. We got the hottest worship. Come on, you're gonna have crazy church if you come this Sunday. That's great, and we need to keep doing that, because the Sunday or weekend or whenever you have your worship experience, that is absolutely crucial. But beyond that, because in this Instagram age, we frame and curate what people see. All they see is the experience portion that we're putting out there. Come join us on Sunday, and they forget or don't know about the work that goes on all week long, both in our greater community and in the communities that are our church, because we have people to serve. One of the things I'm really concerned about now, in addition to the violence and so many other things going on in our community, is this eviction moratorium that's getting ready to wear off. We're talking about homeless service. The reality is we're about to have a lot more homeless people in our city and in our communities. And for churches that are doing the work, we already have that issue. You know, there's not a month that goes by that I don't have one of the members of my church or a member of the community that I differentiate the two. If someone in the community has a need, it's just like someone in the church having a need. And a month does not go by without somebody being on the verge of eviction, and we have to scramble and figure out what are we going to do to help this person.
Wow.
It's already like that. What is it going to look like when we have a backlog of almost 2 years of evictions that's going to come and hit? It's, you know, it's something that the church needs to prepare for. Our government needs to prepare for, but also our community, anyone who serves the community needs to prepare for this, because it's coming. It's coming. But we are on the front line. We are there, doing everything we can to address issues like that and many more to continue to come up.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, I'm telling you, this is so, there are so many nuggets. If you are, you know, hopefully if you're not driving, you're taking notes, you're taking mental notes, this whole conversation, because we are asking the question, is it just solely, you know, the role of the faith leader to do things, or is this a all hands in, everybody in together, getting some great answers? Question for today is, where is the church in regard to things in the community? Next up, we're going to have an answer from Pastor G. Lamar Stewart.
You know, I appreciate both responses from Pastor Fields as well as Dr. Wright, and I want to really piggyback off of what they both shared. I think historical context is important. I think about the scripture over in Hebrews 12 that talks about we being surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. And when I think about pioneers, when Clarence and Buster and I were much younger, the pioneers of our history were folks like Dr. James Hall from Triumph Baptist Church, you know, Dr. Bill Moore from 10th Memorial, Dr. Bill Shaw from White Rock, Dr. Thomas Ritter from 2nd Macedonia, Dr. Benjamin Ben Smith from Deliverance. And these are folks who are pioneers, and they were leading and really paved the way for us, you know, around issues of soteriology, you know, the study of salvation, around social issues, and around sustainability. Those were three things that most of them really focused their ministry around: salvation, social issues, sustainability. You know, salvation, of course, we know, you know, is really the foundation of what we do as far as church is concerned, but social issues, whether it was mass incarceration, education, police reform, gun violence, these are issues that the church historically has always made a priority. And then sustainability around family, around faith, around fellowship, around economic justice. And then they paved the way for the next generation, which was the Reverend Dr. Alan Wallers at Enon, the Reverend Dr. Leslie Collahans over at St. Paul, Bishop Maureen Davis at Open Door, Dr. Damon Jones over at Bible Way. They continue to lead that charge around salvation, social justice, and sustainability. Now we're coming, and we're standing on the shoulders of our fathers, our mothers, our grandfathers, our grandmothers in ministry, and we're pushing those same issues: salvation, social justice, sustainability. So when I look at what Clarence is doing, and I mean, if you look at his body of work over at Love Zion, they have an economic empowerment center at Love Zion Baptist Church, helping that particular community in North Philly around Lehigh Avenue and Huntington Street and Cumberland up off 25th and 22nd Street, all through that whole corridor, really leading the charge around economic security. When I look at the work that Buster is doing, both leading around music, but also establishing a level of hope, feeding homeless, feeding the community. These are pastors who are on the front line because we had pioneers who were leading before us. They taught us this, Desiree, that to be an effective leader, effective pastor, you must learn, you must love, you must lead. You must learn your people and learn the community. You must love them so that you can lead them. All of us, we've been pastoring now. I think Buster's been there for a few years. Clarence has been there for 3 years. Clarence has been there for probably about 8 or 9, 10, somewhere in there. I've been at Taylor for 11 years. All of us, when we got to our church, we were told, you're not the pastor just because you have the title. You can become that. And becoming that means you have to learn the people and you have to learn the community that you're serving to understand what those social issues are, to understand what's happening in that context.
Yeah,
and then you can just loving those folks. And so that they will allow you to lead them. And so, when I think about the work that we're all doing collectively, whether that's around mass incarceration, whether it's around education, whether it's around housing, or police reform or gun violence, we have to pick an issue or two and be effective at that thing, and then learn how to collaborate with each other to continue to push those agendas forward.
All right, you guys, y'all are so powerful. You're making the clock move fast. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to go to another commercial break and pay some bills. The conversation today is, where is the church? I'm going to tell you, the church is right here. You are the church. But if you want to know more, keep listening right here to The Source. I'm your girl, Desi, guest starring for Andrea Lawful Sanders on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Stay close.
Jefferson Health offers no-cost COVID-19 testing sites at St. Raymond of Pinafort Church. Testing is on Thursdays and Saturdays. The second testing location has been added at Richard Allen Preparatory Charter School. Testing is on Wednesdays and Fridays. For testing hours and more information, visit jeffersonhealth.org/community testing.
Hey, WURD family, did you hear? It's official. The Colorectal Cancer Alliance just announced the new age for colon cancer screenings has been officially lowered to age 45 for everyone. If you are 45 or older, it's time to get screened. Go to wordradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner to register for your free at-home screening test. Did you know colon cancer is largely preventable with on-time screening? And there's a 90% survival rate when caught early. African Americans are 20% more likely to get colon cancer and about 40% more likely to die from it than most other groups. So for the next 3 months, you can go to wordradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner for your free at-home screening test. A screening navigator will contact you to ask a few questions and help you get screened. It's that simple. Again, just go to wordradio.com, click on the Go to Know banner, and fill out the form to request your free at-home screening test. Go to Know today.
Philadelphia Families, PHL Pre-K, the city's free quality pre-K program, is growing and now enrolling. Over 160 pre-K centers are ready to serve children this year. There are no income limits for this free pre-K program. Children who are 3 or 4 years old as of September 1 can enroll. Call 844-PHL-PRE-K or visit phlprek.org to learn more and find a quality pre-K center. That's 844-745-7735. This program is made possible by the Philadelphia Beverage Tax.
WURD Founders Day. Don't miss our annual Founders Day live broadcast and celebration, Thursday, August 26th, honoring the life and legacy of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD, featuring a very special broadcast of a ceremonial street naming for Dr. Lomax from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. at 1800 Wharton Street, the site of his first medical center.
Hosted by Charles Ellison.
The day will also include a series of virtual panels and conversations exploring health, wealth, and independent media. Start or renew your forward membership on Founders Day at the special discounted rate of just $80. For more information about WURD Founders Day, visit wordradio.com. WURD Radio Founders Day is brought to you by PICO, Keystone First, Bank of America, Ready Set Philly, Comcast, Brown's Family ShopRite, Temple University, and Councilmember Kenyatta Johnson, 2nd District. Stand with WURD Radio,
the only black-owned talk radio station in Pennsylvania.
Did you know you can join the Forward movement and amplify voices of the black community as a digital member for as low as $5 per month? Visit membership at wordradio.com or call 215-425-7875. We need you. Show your support. Start or renew your Forward membership today. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia.
Streaming live on wordradio.com, the WURD Radio app.
Or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube. WURD Radio, independent black media.
You're listening to The Source on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. What's up? It's your girl, Desi. Guest starring for Andrea Lawful Sanders. You are tuned into The Source, and you're just jumping into an amazing conversation. If you're just tuned in, we are having the conversation with some amazing faith leaders, and it's called, Where is the Church? If that is your question, or if you have the answer, first of all, you are welcome to join in the conversation at 215-634-8065. Once again, that's 215-634-8065. I know in these couple of days that I've been hanging out with you guys that you guys have a lot to say. You're a very opinionated and seasoned audience who has a lot of wisdom, and so we want to hear from you. So once again, 215-634-8065. We're going to jump back into our conversation. So if you guys are not sure, for those of you who are not actually watching, today we have with us Pastor G. Lamar Stewart of the Taylor Memorial Baptist Church. We have Pastor Clarence E. Wright of the Love Zion Baptist Church, and we also have Pastor Edward Buster Fields of the Apostolic Seed of Love. Transitioning into our second question for the afternoon, gentlemen. I want to really quickly hit on some of the amazing points that each and every one of you brought up. Pastors are essential workers. That's a t-shirt to me for some reason. You know what I mean? That's a t-shirt to me. Gosh, that really hit home for me. Cater to the whole person. Really good nugget. You know what I mean? I know that as a social service, lover of social services and human services, that is one of our principles, but it's also a principle of the church. Services and education were originated from churches. I don't think that I ever really understood and put that together. So thank you, Dr. Wright, for, bringing clarity in regard to those things. I wrote this down. You guys didn't say it, but I wanted to shout out to the pastors who have pivoted through this pandemic from a technological perspective. You know what I mean? You got pastors who were like, yeah, it's really, brick and mortar. It's this mic, and I don't know anything else, who have, listened to other people and said, you know what, okay, I'm going to break out of this mold and do something different. And just from a financial perspective, this is not cheap. You know what I mean? And for those who are not technologically savvy, it's a lot of work. And so a huge shout out to those folks who have done that. The other thing that I heard, salvation, social issues, and sustainability are three pillars that pastors of old have taught you guys to make sure that you are taken care of. So I want to get into this one. So, I love a bit of a little sprinkle. Y'all WURD listeners, it got me good yesterday. Yesterday we talked about if I knew then what I know now. And we talked about everything we talked about relationships, we talked about sex, we talked about money, we talked about education. We hit all of them. And I learned that there are some, really interesting listeners. So I want to talk to that person who says, this question here, with all the work that's being done, right? And the people who still walk away, even after seeing the book drives, and even after seeing the feeding the homeless, and even after seeing the cleaning the community, there's still some people who walk away with a notion of, I ain't buying past a new Lexus. They didn't see nothing else. You know what I mean? It's all about, they still walk away with this preconceived notion that every bit of the dime is going towards helping the pastor, no matter how much you see them in the community. So are we changing that narrative? Do you think that narrative is changing? And if it's not, what do you think that can continue to be done? And as I'm asking this, I'm like, when I know that the work is being done, you know what I mean? So this is one of those things that gets me, but yet and still there are people who believe, nah, I'm not contributing to that because I'm not helping the pastor. Let's start with Pastor G. Lamar Stewart. We'll go to Pastor Edward Buster Fields and then Dr. Wright.
I'm not quite sure, Desiree, if I heard the question, but I will attempt to respond to the larger point. And I think for those of us who are in the pastor, particularly those of us who are leading in communities that are experiencing deep poverty. Pastor, as you know, as you're a member of Taylor, in the 19140 zip code, which is one of the top 2 poorest neighborhoods in the city of Philadelphia. And with that in mind, while I am a bivocational pastor, a pastor who serves as a servant leader of the church, but also one who has several different hats outside of the church that brings in streams of income for me and my children. I have a sensitivity to the reality that the vast majority of people who walk into the doors or virtually come into the context of Taylor are individuals who are living in a space, in a reality that they are trying to manage through life and at times with very little means. And I think that we, in this neo-Pentecostalism within the church, have begun to call blessed material blessings and not realizing that being blessed in this hour and really throughout biblical history is much deeper than anything material. It's also about spiritual blessings, about having a level of joy and contentment and peace and wisdom. And wisdom will speak and understanding how people perceive those of us who are pastors. Now, I believe that pastors have a right to enjoy life. I mean, we will celebrate a brother or sister who experiences promotion on their job and goes buy a new car. We will celebrate a brother or sister who has experienced promotion on their job and buys a new house. We understand that because of the context that we serve in, pastors are guilty until proven innocent. And so in mind, those of us who lead churches, it's important that we understand the context that we're serving in and that we understand the perception that people have. And it's all right to enjoy life and learning how to do that in moderation, but also knowing that everything doesn't need to show up on Sunday morning.
Come on.
And everything need to show up on social media. And you can live a life, enjoy it, be fruitful, be productive, and not have to showcase it all. Understanding that the context in which you serve, there may be individuals who may be just as blessed, who are honoring God and living with obedience. But if what I do causes someone to struggle with the faith, I have to ask, is it prudent for me to buy that or show up with that on Sunday morning?
Got you. Wonderful. And you answered the question perfectly. We got a call all the way from Connecticut, guys. We got Cliff on line 1. Hi, Cliff.
Well, thanks for taking my call. I apologize for the background, but I'll be brief. Listen, a different subject. I want to get from the pastors. It's so good that you have them on. I want to get, I know I probably won't get an answer, but what is in the book of the Bible it talks about the mark of the beast? So either one of your pastors, if you can tell me specifically what that is, because we're seeing things that kind of like, I believe they're pointing to it, but I just want to get the opinion of the pastors, the little men of God. What exactly is the mark of the beast, if you can expound on that and tell me exactly what that is between either one of them.
Okay, so if someone can give a clear and consistent, concise answer on the mark of the beast, and then we'll transition back into the conversation. Either pastor by a raising of the hand is fine.
It's from the book of Revelation.
I'll let the theologian do it. I love this topic of eschatology, but I'll let you live for this.
I tell you what, Pastor Bussy, you go ahead. I'm a practical.
No. I'm your student, so
Go ahead, Dr. Wright.
In a concise way, it's from the book of Revelation. Revelation, you have to remember, is an apocalyptic book. So I take an approach of humility when it comes to all scripture. My favorite scripture in the Bible, I actually just posted it today, is 1 Corinthians 13:9, which says, we know in part and we prophesy in part. So there's some things that we can learn from prophecies that come from those apocalyptic books, but it is also important to maintain humility, that all we can do is pray and hope that the Spirit, that's the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Ghost, as I call him coming up, would help us to interpret. I don't typically take a position of trying to say this is exactly what the book of Revelation says, because it still remains to be seen, and we're all going to find out at some point.
Cliff, does that answer your question? Cliff, did we get disconnected? Okay. All right. So hopefully he was able to hear. So Cliff, that is in the book of Revelations. And basically we
Can I answer that a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just feel like there's a need to say this, that the mark of the beast is not, I want to make this very clear, is not the COVID vaccinations. I think we need to do a deeper study on eschatology to understand what the book of Revelations, as our Pastor Wright has told us, what it tells us. It's foretelling. It's telling us what's to come. And there is a timeline of events that have to take place before certain experiences or before we have certain encounters. So for one to say that the vaccination is, there were some people who believe that the vaccination is the mark of the beast. And I feel like that's the root of this question for the fellow that called in. I want to reassure him that truly that cannot be the mark of the beast, because if it was the mark of the beast, that means we would be in the tribulation period as of right now. And that goes on if you read the book of Revelations or you read Thessalonians. There's a lot of parts of the Bible that really talks about eschatology. If you read that book, it'll give you a deeper understanding and kind of reassure your faith, and it will remove anxiety when you understand what's going on scripturally, spiritually within today's time.
Got you. It's interesting. I can only speak for myself. During my time at Lancaster Bible College Capital Seminary, the times that I learned about Revelations, I approached it in a fearful manner before, but again, knowing who and whose I am, it really gave me a sense of peace once I knew that the end was victory for me. And so, I encourage everyone that is listening who has questions. And yes, we living in the last days. That's the lingo around town. Folks are saying it, and you're right. We are. But when you know who and whose you are, and when you know that the end is victory, I stand and claim victory for all of us as believers. So thank you so much, Cliff, for calling all the way from Connecticut. Thank you for listening again. So the conversation today is, where is the church? We are in the midst of answering the questions that we were talked about. What we were talking about before we changed gears. So with all the work that's being done, because there is work that's being done, before each one of these amazing men goes, after we answer this question, they are going to demonstrate and tell you the non-traditional work that they are doing and attacking things in a manner that is being effective. But with all the good work that's going on, there are still some people who say, I don't care how many food boxes they gave me. I don't care how many times they cleaned the street. I don't care how many times they assisted me with my rent. I don't care. I ain't giving nothing to that church because I ain't buying the pastor no Lexus. Pastor Edward Buster Fields, what say ye?
I believe a relationship with the pastor and the congregation or the visitors has to be established to remove questioning. Some people I've learned early in pastoring, there were some people you will not convince. There were some people who are always going to question everything that you do. And because some of them have experienced some level of hurt or some level of distrust, or someone let them down along the way. But I believe strongly that a pastor needs to develop a relationship with the people. And if you develop a relationship with them, they will understand your heart. And then they will desire greater things for you. I think they will desire for you to be blessed because you have developed a relationship. But when you don't have that relationship, and then you pull up the church and a one-on-one, what's the community, Pastor Stewart? One-on-one
40.
1-on-1 40, right? The second poorest community in Philadelphia, correct? But if I pull up in that area in the G-Wagon that costs $180,000, but I have people in my church who's not necessarily sure how they're going to eat tomorrow, that's pretty questionable. I think that as we are servant leaders. Now, being a servant doesn't mean I need to live a subordinate, homely, boring life. But as a servant, serving my community and serving my congregation says, I'm even going to be considerate of their perspective. I'm going to be considerate of their feelings. I'm not going to, I had an opportunity, Pastor Stewart, Pastor White, I had an opportunity to get a really nice car. God was faithful to me in a season. But I decided to choose another option because I wanted to make sure that I didn't give the wrong perception. I wanted to make sure that I didn't give the wrong type of vibe to those that still might be trying to be healed from that process of being hurt at their last church or their last experience. I'm still working on that relationship enough for them to know that this is not coming from your church. This is not your tithing and offering. I think also it needs to be open to where the money is going. I think that it needs to be a very open, candid conversation to the people where your money is going. We have people in our congregation, and all of our congregations, who are very faithful tithe payers. They should know where their money is going.
That's right.
It should not be a secret. It should be very open. We should have meetings, and we should be able to pass them documents, and then they should be able to ask us questions in the right setting. You know, so when we establish these relationships and protocols, I really believe that it will denounce some of the questioning and allow people to really desire for the pastor to, you know, to have certain things. And a last thing, I truly believe that as we minister, it's all about God, right? And that moment when we mount the sacred, it's the center of attention should only be on the word and on God using you to get the word. I really believe that when you minister, you shouldn't be having Louis, Gucci, Prada, Fendi, all that. It's a distraction. You know, you should be adorned in an outfit that can be not a distraction to the flow.
All right. Another wonderful answer, which has intrigued another guest. We got Doc from West Philly. Doc, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How's everything, everybody?
Wonderful, wonderful.
That's a good feeling.
What's your comment?
My comment was the answer, but the brother was hitting it on a note as far as like the vaccination. Left arm, that was the mark of the beast.
Okay.
I don't know. Can you relate to that? Can you relate to that?
I hear you. I'm clear about what you said. Yes, sir. Continue.
Okay, well, that was mine.
Okay, you wanted to make that correlation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, understood. Well, thank you so much, Doc. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your opinion. Thank you so much for making that correlation. And continue to listen to the conversation, all right?
Always do.
All right, thank you kindly.
Deborah, I know we got to get over to Dr. Wright on that point. Can I just mention one piece? You know, over in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 14 through 16, Paul talks about those who preach the gospel should also live the gospel. In verse 15 and 16, he says, but I've chosen not to live primarily of the gospel. He says in verse 16, because a burden has been laid upon me, and woe unto me if I don't preach the gospel. Paul really begins to talk there about how the scriptures teach that those who are pastors, those who are leaders within the church, male or female, that they should fully be funded by virtue of the church. Paul chose not to, because Paul did not want money to become a distraction for ministry. There are many of us who live within that tension. I bless God for those who are full-time in ministry, and there are pastors who are full-time and who are doing it with a level of integrity. I think whether you're full-time or whether you're bivocational, it's important that we lead with the sensitivity of our context. We lead in such a way that really comes from a servant leader model. And we lead in such a way that things don't become a distraction for what's most important. If the car I drive is distracting people from seeing Jesus, then I need to remove the distraction.
My God.
If the clothes I wear is creating a distraction from people getting healed, then perhaps I need to consider removing the distraction. If there is a material thing that has gotten in the way of people's of ministry and work and social justice and mobility and sustainability going forward, kingdom work going forward, then we have to think through how do we need to adjust so that people can see Christ and that the work can go forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, the conversation is heating up. Gentlemen, you're doing an amazing job. As the lines are heating up, the number to call, 215-634-8065. We have two folks on the line, Maurice and Zaire. Zaire, hold tight. Maurice, what is your comment?
Well, I have a comment and I have two questions.
Okay.
Put up that he lives in 19140, Tioga, Nice Town area.
Yes.
Put up that haven't seen a preacher do the work like Dr. Leon Sullivan or Dr. Clarence Smith since them brothers passed away. I don't knock on preachers. I don't know what all preachers do. What I do know, I do see, they're not doing that kind of work. So my question to the preachers and to the pastors is this: two questions. How do we stop the economic poverty taxation, and how do we close the racial wealth gap?
Say that again. So just in case we have to go to the other line, I'll make sure your question is answered. The first question was?
How do we stop economic poverty taxation?
Okay.
The second question is, how do we close the racial wealth gap?
Got it.
See, that's the solution that Dr. Leon Sullivan can address, Reverend Clarence Smith could address. And their work still stands 50 years later.
Got you. I really appreciate you. Maurice, thank you so much. I will make sure that your question is answered. We're going to go over to Zaire on line 2. Zaire, welcome. Zaire.
Hello. Greetings.
Hi, welcome.
Good afternoon to the brethren.
Good afternoon.
Amen. It's just factual situations that our community is in that we need all hands on deck. And the criticizing and the condemning, that's not going to solve any problems for us, for Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I done watched the Black church in Philadelphia over the years take its own personal order and made the people a part of that. And the sad part is many people get locked out because, as the pastor there on the platform stated, it becomes to keep up with the Jones mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the mindset of Christ. Mm-hmm. Christ came to serve, not to be served. Mm-hmm. And with all the churches in Philadelphia, 5,000, and a greater number of them are African American.
Mm-hmm.
And then the big ones down to the small ones, what if they said we all going to come together and make Christ our primary focus? It's not where you live. It's not who you are. It's just about Christ. And let's see if we can change our community. If we can change our community.
Zaire, thank you so much. I appreciate your comment. We got to pay some bills and jump right back into the conversation to ensure that all the questions are answered. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Stay close.
It's time to break free from whatever screen you've been glued to for the past year. Backs up to get back to all the things you love about Philly. The city is ready for you. Go to ReadySetPhilly.com to plan your triumphant return.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanted to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Join WURD for the Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour. This year, we celebrate West Oak Lane, Mantua, North, West, and South Philly. I'm Tiffany Bacon. I'll broadcast live from a different neighborhood each Friday from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. Our next and final stop is West Oak Lane at the West Oak Lane Senior Center, 7210 Ogons Avenue. Win concert tickets, meet special guests, and stand with WURD. Be a part of the movement to amplify the voice of the Black community. Come show your support and join or renew your WURD membership on site. That's the Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour at the West Oak Lane Senior Center from 10 a.m. until 12 noon on Friday, August 20th. WURD, showing love this summer.
The WURD Radio Neighborhood Love Tour is sponsored by Comcast and supported by Pico, Keystone First, and Ready Set Philly.
Want the latest in WURD swag?
Check out the shop tab on WURDradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. The shop tab on WURDradio.com. Show the world that you're all about black.
Talk Media.
You're listening to The Source on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
WURD, Progressive Talk Media, Black Talk Media. Stand with WURD, the only Black-owned talk radio station in Pennsylvania. Did you know that you can join the 4WURD movement and amplify voices of the Black community as a digital member for as low as $5 per month? Visit WURDradio.com or call 215-425-7875. We need you to show your support, join or renew, and forward your membership today. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Desi. You're tuned into The Source. I am the guest host for Andrea Lawful Sanders, and it is time for us to continue the conversation. Had a few callers. Shout out to those who have called so far today. Shout out to Ron and Doc, Maurice and Zaire, and also to Cliff. We're getting, back into the conversation. Zaire, I will make sure that your 2 questions are answered before this conversation is over, but wanted to jump in, Dr. Wright, and allow you to answer the question that has been on the floor. And the question is, with all the work that's being done, everything that we can see that the body of Christ is helping, there are still some people who have the mindset that they don't care, even if they have been recipients, they will not be of assistance to the church because they will not donate to the pastor. What say ye?
Yeah, thanks, Desi. I can actually bridge the two, because my answer to that question actually kind of covers one of the caller's questions as well.
Oh, good, thanks.
In regards to economic empowerment, now I'll put my cards on the table. I am a pastor. You talk about the pastor drives a Lexus. I drive a Lexus. I have a nice house. I'm guilty as charged. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it goes back to what Pastor Buster was talking about with relationships. My community doesn't resent me for driving a Lexus because they saw me for a decade driving my Volkswagen to and from church.
Gotcha.
They understand. They celebrated when I got a new car, when I finally got a new car. I rolled down the street and people was like, oh, yeah, you look like a pastor now, because it's relationship with the community. What people don't understand is and Pastor Stewart has talked about bivocational pastors. The reality is the overwhelming majority of pastors are vocational in some capacity now. Because it's not only are we not taking from the church to sustain us, even though in many times it would be our right to do that, but we intentionally do not do that because we believe in the work of ministry. So just like Paul, the tent maker from Tarsus, we have other sources of income. I'm not just a pastor. I'm a seminary professor. My wife is an engineer who works for a farm. So when people see the house I live in and the car I drive, you got to take all of that into consideration. The reality is I've been pastoring for almost 9 years and I have never got a raise. Never got a raise in 9 years. The reality is the salary that I have had as a pastor would not be enough to sustain my whole family. That's what the reality is. And that is part of that is intentional, because the less money I take from the church, the more can be used to invest in the community. Which takes us to the idea of what does it mean to invest in the community? What does it mean to make the community economically sustainable? One of the other callers mentioned Leon Sullivan. Leon Sullivan is a personal inspiration of mine. I studied Leon Sullivan and the work he did at Zion and Progress Plaza when I was at Temple University. But what I will diverge from is the idea that there are no more Leon Sullivans. Clearly, there's no more Leon Sullivans, but there are many who are doing the work in different ways in today's community. One of the issues, though, is the resources. In the same breath, people say, I'm not giving to the church and the church should be doing this. And the church cannot do those. Churches cannot build another Progress Plaza or another supermarket in the community while not investing in the church. So it's one or the other. You can say, I'm not supporting the church, but you cannot say, I'm not supporting the church
and they don't do ...
The two are connected to each other. It is one of the issues of combating the race wealth gap is the issue of communal economics. We have to come together and pool our money. And the reality is some other communities have done a better job at pooling their money in order to put the resources out there. What we've done is, as mentioned by Pastor Stewart, we started something called the Center for Economic Empowerment at Love Zion. And that the intention for that is to develop the financial knowledge, empower our people, not just give them handouts. And we do that too. Listen, we give out food baskets.
Yeah.
Because the reality is you have to meet them where they are. But in the process, we also want to empower them so that they can learn what it takes. I don't drive a Lexus because I took a bunch of money from the church. I drive a Lexus because I have good credit and I have 3 jobs and my wife works too.
Teach here.
So I want to help people to get that same kind of mentality of this is what it takes to get good credit. This is what it takes to save and invest your money, because that's the only way we're going to break this. A lot of the issues that we're facing, the crime issues and everything else, can be related back to the economic issues that we face in our community.
Yes. All right. Every time you guys speak, you're heating up. And I know my pastor, I see your forehead squinching, so I know you got something to say, but you got to wait a minute. Hold your squinch. All right. We got Tyrone from North Philly on the line and Prince from Schuylkill. Prince, hold on. We're going to come right to you. Tyrone, what do you have to say?
Well, peace and blessings, my good brother, and much love and respect to you, my sister, and to my WURD family. You know, just hearing the program before your program, when we're talking about all the critical issues in our community, how to try to lift themselves up. For whatever reason, we still continue to tear one another down. In our community, when we got our children killing one another, but folks are talking about the politicians are not doing their job, the mayor not doing his job, the commissioner not doing her job. Our spiritual leaders are taking our money for their own benefit. See, we're just living in this critical moment where people don't look at the real issues that are keeping us from living a normal life. So, first of all, my brothers and sisters, I respect each and every one of my spiritual leaders. I don't care if they have a jet. I don't care if they have a Lexus. I don't care what they have. If they're doing what they're doing their best in terms of trying to lift our people up and lift us up, then we need to respect that. So let me just say this. I have just one question. And this question has nothing to do with trying to knock anyone down, because my good brother from E9, all the work that he is doing, folks continue to knock him down. But my question is, in our community, where there have been mega churches and the community have been gentrified, was there anything that the church could do to help the people who live there maintain that community and kept it from being gentrified? That's my only question. And my brother and sister, again, thank you for everything you do, and we appreciate all the work you do, whether folks pat you on your back or not. Love you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Tyrone, I sincerely appreciate you. And just like the other caller, your question will be answered. Luckily, people are enjoying the conversation. We're going to go to some other lines, but I appreciate you, and your question will be answered. Thank you so very kindly. Well, the lines have rang again, guys. So not only do we have Prince from Schuylkill, we also have Diane. Diane, please remain on the line as we will get to you. Prince, welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I am awesome. So
thanks for calling back again. I know I talked to you yesterday.
you keep it interesting. So, you know, I was going to take August off as well, but, you know, I love this unapologetic black station, you know?
Thank you so much.
I don't think that, you know, my only issue, I have two of them. Number one is that the justification of how someone lives and to tie it in spiritually, when God said, you know, all he said in the Bible is tell someone who I am. He didn't deal with the economics of the church because he was going to always take care of the church. So there are some people who are not lured in by what the pastor drives, because some people drive way better cars than Lexus. So, and my second point is, you know, the pastors, you know, sometimes talk at us, not to us. Because if you're running a nonprofit, it's hard to do economic programs, pulling resources, financial resources, money, when you run a nonprofit. The best thing you can do is put us in a position with financial lenders, and then some of them are more predatory than they are friendly. And so I get tired of this relationship that we need to have the pastor speak for the whole community, because right now the internet has taken and stripped that ability to touch, to be intimate with the community. The internet is intimate with the community, and the pastors are on the internet trying to jumpstart getting that popularity, but not the intimacy in the community. And so what happens is that it has pushed most of our pastors inside of these small rooms with these politicians negotiating dollars in neighborhoods they don't live in, or neighborhoods, or for neighborhoods that they can't control if we gave them all the money, period. So this is the two things that I like the pastor to speak about. So it's not more so witty drive and how he maintained his lifestyle, because we got young millionaires out here who drive Bentleys and everything else. It is how can he and his group of folk, black clergy or whoever, how can they bridge this gap between the young ones riding dirt bikes out here, the young entrepreneurs that don't go to church, and the young ones and the young ladies who are just as who dress just as salacious and almost naked in church, you know. And so I would like him to speak on those issues. And thank you for taking my call, and I'll hang up and listen.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Do we still have Diane waiting on the line? Do we still have Diane?
Hi, Desi. I'm really enjoying your programs.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. What's your question?
And the pastor is doing a good job. You know, when I was raised up in the church, and my pastor, he didn't work, but he trained the men in our church how to work and own their own business. And every man in our church, they worked, had good city jobs, government jobs, or whatever. And he trained them to have their own business. And they all had their own business. And my pastor, you know, we pay our 10%. That's what I'm supposed to do, is pay 10%. And he took care of his church. And matter of fact, what he did, he got his men together, and they raised money to buy land in New Jersey. And on that land in New Jersey, they built a house. And then they had built another house down the street from the house that they built. And they had land, and everybody in our church had a garden where they could grow vegetables and had the flower garden. And it was just beautiful. And we still have that land. And, you know, my pastor, he worked, but he took care of the church, you know, and then he came to people's houses. They had problem, issues. He'd come to their houses and talk with them. So he was a full-time pastor. We didn't care what kind of car he got, but he took care of the church. And then when he finished his car, he passed it to a member in the church. That's what he did.
Wow. First of all, Diane, you are so blessed to have had that experience. You know what I mean? To be able to be reflective of that experience. And I'm so happy. And then I'm also happy that you're tuning in. I appreciate your comment. We're going to get to these questions that were asked by the callers, and then we're going to make sure that these pastors get the opportunity to say what they are doing. Because I'm telling you, I chose them because they're doing top-notch work in the community, life-changing work. And I want you to hear all about it. Thank you so much, Diane. You're tuned in to WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, and we are going to jump in. So, gentlemen, I need to warn you, we're a couple of minutes from a commercial break. I want to assign, have either of you chosen to answer some of the questions that you see? Okay, have either of you chosen? Because I want to make sure that you are able, I want everybody to be answered. I want to make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to do that. Let's do this. Let's go to Dwayne in Southwest. We'll come back. I'm going to assign each one of you the answers to the questions over the commercial break, and then we can proceed. Dwayne.
Yes, I want to say something about the pastors. What I'm against, the pastors going to church with these big cars, and the members can members can barely pay their rent. I'm against that. I think they shouldn't go to church. They want to go somewhere else. They got the right to have a Rolls Royce or something like that, but don't come around members and members are struggling.
Yeah. And, Dwayne, are you just tuning in, or have you been tuning in the whole time?
I just tuned in.
Okay, because you know what? Let me say this. I'm happy that you brought that up. That actually, we just got finished talking about that. And I gave each one of the pastors the opportunity to attack that question head on. The good thing is this is going to be on Facebook Live. And I encourage you to replay this because I want you to hear what they said. You know what I mean? Because you're valid. Your feelings are valid. And I want you to get a good, solid answer. But we just got finished talking about that. And I so appreciate you for calling.
Okay. Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
Well, you know, I think the pastors not only help communities, I think they should, one of his members can't hardly barely pay the rent. I think the pastor should help them to pay it. It's called itself giving back.
Yes,
I think
indeed.
a lot of pastors don't do that. A lot of pastors, because I know my pastor I used to go to, he don't do things like that. He said he don't get involved in people's personal things. And that's wrong. Yes, he told me and I left the church. Because you can't do for me. I didn't hear you.
I hear you. So first, I want to apologize on behalf of the Church of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I apologize for your Christian experience. That's number one. Number two, it is my prayer that you're able to find a ministry that you can build relationship and build your faith with, and so that you can have the opportunity not just to get your rent paid, but to join in and have a celebratory experience of your salvation and also of your church experience. You're hearing these three pastors, so if you'd like to contact them at a later date, feel free. Dwayne, you're listening to Pastor G. Lamar Stewart of the Taylor Memorial Baptist Church. You're also hearing from Dr. Clarence Wright of the Love Zion Baptist Church, and you're also hearing from Pastor Edward Buster Fields of Apostolic Seed of Love. They're all around the city, and I wish you a wonderful Christian, Ambassador Seed of Love. So I wish you a fruitful Christian experience in the future, and I'm so sorry for what you have endured. God bless you, Dwayne.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right. So, gentlemen, we got to take this opportunity.
Call it the seed.
I just called this. We got to pay some bills. All right, gentlemen. So when we come back, I'm going to distribute these questions. Don't have time now to do it, but the questions are being distributed. We got to pay these bills. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Stay close.
In Pennsylvania, it's now illegal to sell tobacco products, including cigarettes, cigars, chewing tobacco, vapes, or electronic cigarettes to anyone under 21. Stores can get fined up to $1,000 for selling tobacco to someone who is underage. Know the law. Check IDs. Post your retailer license. Make sure only employees have access to tobacco products, and only sell tobacco products to customers aged 21 and older. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
In Philly, COVID-19 vaccines are safe, free, and effective. It protects you from contracting the COVID-19 virus. Vaccines do not change your DNA or contain microchips. Caribbean people are not immune to the deadly virus without COVID-19 vaccine shots, and it does not affect your immigration status. Join us for our back-to-school COVID-19 vaccination resource fair on Saturday, August 21st from 11 to 3 p.m. at Sturgis Recreation Center in Albany. Free food, school supplies, and vaccines. Visit www.caribbeancommunityinphiladelphia.com, Facebook or Instagram page.
Hi, this is John.
Hi, this is Juanita, owners of JD's Auto Body and Painting. We're located at 6300 Wayne Avenue, right there at the intersection of Wayne and Washington Lane.
We really like to thank all you WURD listeners for the support that you've given our business, and we really hope to see you in the future.
JD, tell them about our products and services we have.
We have a new state-of-the-art paint shop along with our body shop and detail shop. We can help you with the dents and scratches from the winter season.
Come to JD's Auto Body and Painting. Come on out and check us out. We're still honoring that WURD 10% discount. Give us a call, 215-848-5949. Again, 215-848-5949.
Thanks again for supporting our business. We really appreciate you.
See you at JD's Auto Body and Painting.
Are you looking to hire diverse talent? WURD has got you covered. We just launched a brand new job portal to help connect you with diverse talent in Philadelphia and beyond. If you would like to have your jobs featured on our job portal, give us a call at 215-425-7875 or send us an email at sales@wordradio.com. Check out the job portal today on our livelihood website at wordworks.com. That's WURDworks.com and click jobs.
The Word Radio newsletter, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected. Sign up by visiting wordradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on Word Radio. Messages from our president and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese. Exclusive articles and multimedia content and resources. Stay informed with the Word Radio newsletter.
You're listening to The Source on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM, WURD.
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. What's up? It's your girl, Desi, and we're back. You're tuned into The Source, and I'm guest hosting for Andrea Lawful Sanders, having a wonderful time with my three brothers in the ministry, out on the field, in the vineyard, getting the work done. You guys are heating up. This is the last phone call that we're going to take so that we can get all the questions answered that are answered until the next hour. We'll be taking calls in the next hours because I want to make sure that my guests get the opportunity to tell you what they're doing. Last phone call for the hour is Tyrone. Hi, Tyrone.
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Listen, this is a really, really great program. I love the information that they're putting out, and I also love the questions that they're taking and answering.
Yeah.
And here's my input right here. What happens a lot of times in the churches? We're looking for perfection from a man. Pastors have a lot of faults just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Okay? So we have to learn how to not look for perfection. I mean, look for them to be perfect in an imperfect setting.
Yeah.
They're going to make mistakes. They're going to slip. They're going to fall. Okay? The scriptures say, you have to ask for forgiveness when you make a mistake.
Yeah.
And change from that. When you ask for forgiveness, you have to turn around. You have to do a 180-degree turn. And all the churches that I've attended, and I'm 73-plus years old, we have to take the information that's available that they give the congregation and try to use it. You're not going to fix one problem or all the problems in one sermon. If you go to a lot of churches' websites, they have so much information there for employment, for rental assistance, for home purchases, for banking. It's all there. But for the lack of knowledge, my people perish.
Yeah.
We have to go get the information that's available to us. And also, you can't go to one church and look for everything to be right. It's like going to a restaurant. You get a bad meal, you go to another restaurant. you don't stop eating. So that's my input I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you for calling in, Tyrone. So we are going to allow my amazing guest panelists, our pastors, to answer the questions. So there is one question that I am going to take the liberty of disqualifying only because it is a personal choice of the pastor. That question is, should a pastor have a job? We'll talk about that in the 3 o'clock hour once the pastors have gone and dismissed. We can get into that listener to host. How's that? But what we are going to tackle right now, we're going to tackle, can the church help stop gentrification? And then we're also going to talk about bridging the gap. I'd like to give the gentrification question to Dr. Wright and Pastor G. Lamar Stewart. And because, Pastor Buster, I know for a fact that you have both. You have the very, very senior saints down to the babies, because I see them tearing up the two-step on your timeline. I'd like for you to answer in regard to bridging the gap, and you can begin.
Right, yeah, so bridging the gap is I believe, one of my callings. First of all, let me just say this. I think every caller for calling in, your questions are very, very important to this panel. And I understand the passion. It's a lot of unrest, it's a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, but we don't take your passion and misinterpret it. We understand your hearts, And if you ever want to reach out to any one of us pastors who are doing the work, like Pastor Stewart and Pastor Wright, who I know we might not be the Leon Sullivans, but we're not called to be them. We're called to be G. Lamar Stewart. We're called to be Clarence Wright, and I'm called to be Buster, period. All right. I believe that my calling is to bridge the gap. I think that's what I'm assigned to do. I'm not a great orator like Pastor Stewart. I'm not a great communicator like Pastor Wright. But one thing I can do is I can bring that millennial generation connected to the baby boomer generation to find and curate a worship service that everybody can partake in. So you might hear You are my strength in the early part of the service, but then right before my sermon, you might hear blessed assurance. You might hear the cross, right? You might hear I Never Shall Forget by James Hall right after the offering. But we might open the service with I need thee, oh, I need thee. You know, never know. So you have to be understanding kingdom says there is no one way to worship. Kingdom says that you don't need an organ to praise God. Kingdom says that you don't need a drum set. When you understand kingdom ministry, you'll find a way to make sure that everybody can get a touch. Just like the senior missionary, we want her to get the touch. We want the little kid that's on the iPad, that's on the video game to get the same experience, because everybody deserves an encounter.
Come on, you better orate. You said you wasn't orate, orator, and you just orated. Look. Oh gosh, that, you know, I assigned that question to the right person. And again, I commend you because you are bridging the gap. You know, I told a fib. Now, this is the last call. I did not know he was holding so long. Is George still there from Center City? George, are you there?
Hello?
Hi, George. I'm going to take this last call. I'm breaking my rule, George. What's up?
You're taking the last call. You're breaking your rules. I'm glad you are. You know, I want to compliment you, pastors, and I'm not in the complimenting business, and that they're not political preachers. Political preachers are the worst preachers in the world. They're preachers that do everything in the world to get the mayor's office and sit there and kiss up and suck up and try to get what they're going to get for themselves. You know, I have no respect whatsoever for them because I know what they are. But these pastors here, as long as they don't get caught up in that political stuff and do what they're supposed to do for their parishioners, God will bless you. I do not like self-appointed pastors. You know, those. You know, I really got a real, and I call them out. You know, if God hasn't called you to preach, you should have preached. You know, it's just like these self-appointed leaders in the black community. They go around appointing themselves to being things that they're not. And so far, everything you gentlemen, you know, pastors have said makes sense. I mean, until, you know, proven differently, I don't know you, but I'm going to get to know you. And I just like pretty much the answers you give. Don't be giving that off the wall answers, you know. But I'll be careful about that lecture stuff. You know, people, you know, they got different types of cards they like. You know, you're saying a lecture, you went from a Volkswagen to a lecture. I mean, that's a big jump, right? But be sure not robbing the church and not robbing the community like those political preachers. They don't only, they rob their mom, their dad. They're the worst. If you ever get a chance to see how they be in them rooms, they worse than those deaf hustlers. You know, they always talk about what they're going to do for the community. If you do for your church as much as you say you're going to do for your community, you'd be better. And let me tell you something. I have the utmost respect for Pastor Wallace. You know why? People dog him out. But I've never seen him in that role. Never. And I mean, I'm in the room with the mayor. Most times he got these wannabe self-appointed black leaders that he got to give money to. I've never seen him in there. I've never seen him compromise himself. And you got a few other good pastors in the city, like Keith Reed. You never see them pastors in the room. And the pastors you don't see in the room, like these rallies, making all that noise, begging for money, they're begging for themselves. They're not begging for the community or anything. Take my word. They get that between $250 and $2,500, and they happy. They sell the whole community down the drain. Y'all have a good one, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, George, for City for calling in. Man, oh man, I'm telling you, I just want to say to you guys that you know, I know for a fact, I'm used to regular terrestrial radio, and, you know, I lean on the music a little bit. So this has been a wonderful opportunity, and I really commend all of you for coming on with me. I picked the right people, and you hear it from the voices of the community. The folks are telling you, not that you needed another validation, not that you needed a stamp on your book, but as my brothers and as your sisters, I commend you. As the phones have been ringing, the line has been going, and the time has been rolling. We are coming up on another commercial break. We actually only have 2 minutes before the commercial break. And both of my brothers, I want you guys to begin to speak to how we are bridging the gap. I want to start off. Which one of you would like to start off? We got to do a concise little 60-second journey. Take me into my commercial break, and then you can come on back and we can get it continued.
All right, I think we call that a teaser in media, so let me go with that.
Come on, you trying to get my job. Look.
Dr. Howard Thurman, he's a scholar. He once wrote, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it." Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. When I think about the work that God has called me to do, it's really a work that helps me to come alive. And so answering Prince's question around bridging gap and answering Maurice's question around poverty, when we look at the work that Taylor Moore Baptist Church is doing from a community engagement perspective, as well as a recent launch of a nonprofit called Tailor Made Opportunities, I'm looking forward after the commercial break to talk more about the work that has helped us to come alive.
Indeed. And you will. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to let you know about some other work that's going on. Join WURD Radio on Thursday, August the 26th for our annual Founders Day celebration, honoring the life and legacy of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD. This year, we'll feature special live broadcast from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at a street naming ceremony for Dr. Lomax at 1800 Wharton Street, the site of his first medical center. The day will also include a series of virtual panels and conversations exploring health, wealth, and independent media. And there's a special Founders Day membership discount. Join or renew today for just $80 and help to continue Dr. Lomax's legacy by supporting progressive Black talk media. For more information, go to WURDradio.com and click on the Founders Day banner. They look forward to seeing you on Thursday, August the 26th. Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into The Source. I'm your guest host, Desi, on WURD Progressive Black Talk Media. Stay close.
What's up, Philly? It's Sincerely Sarita. With so much uncertainty surrounding the upcoming school year, now is the time to take charge of your child's education and give them the tools to make learning fun and safe. Check out Commonwealth Charter Academy, which can make a difference in your child's life. Commonwealth Charter Academy, or CCA, is a K-12 public cyber charter school with nearly 20 years of experience providing a flexible, stable, online education in the comfort of your home. Enroll today at ccaeducate.me. Your child will receive 1, a world-class accredited education streamed directly into your home at no cost to you. 2, a laptop, headphones, assistance with accessing the internet and learning materials, all provided at no cost to you. 3, a safe learning environment with no bullying or security concerns. Join the nearly 2,500 students from Philly who already attend CCA. The school year begins September 8th. Enroll now at ccaeducate.me.
The Mattress Man is a second-generation family-owned mattress specialist business since 1988. Open 7 days a week, located at 7421 Stanton Avenue. The Mattress Man discounts Serta, memory foam, orthopedic, and ComfortTech mattresses every day. You deal directly with the owner, Julian, to ensure you get the best price and best service. The Mattress Man offers same-day delivery on most models to most areas. Ask about the WURD discount. Call 215-424-5550.
Philadelphia residents can stay cool this summer with Parks and Rec. Between public pools and spray grounds, there are over 150 free places to cool down and have fun this summer. Spray grounds are open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. Pool hours vary by location. Visit phila.gov/PPR to find a pool or spray ground near you.
WURD Founders Day.
Don't miss our annual Founders Day live broadcast and celebration, Thursday, August 26th, honoring the life and legacy of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD, featuring a very special broadcast of a ceremonial street naming for Dr. Lomax from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. at 1800 Wharton Street, the site of his first medical center. Hosted by Charles Ellison. The day will also include a series of virtual panels and conversations exploring health, wealth, and independent media. Start or renew your WURD membership on Founders Day at the special discounted rate of just $80. For more information about WURD Founders Day, visit WURDradio.com. WURD Radio Founders Day is brought to you by Pico, Keystone First, Bank of America, Ready Set Philly, Comcast, Brown's Family ShopRite, Temple University, and Councilmember Kenyatta Johnson, 2nd District. Stand with WURD Radio, the only black-owned talk radio station in Pennsylvania. Did you know you can join the 4WURD movement and amplify voices of the black community as a digital member for as low as $5 per month? Visit membership at WURDradio.com or call 215-425-7875. We need you. Show your support. Start or renew your 4WURD membership today. Lifting every voice till earth and heaven ring. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Black Talk Media.
You're listening to The Source on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. What's going on? You're tuned into The Source. I'm your girl, Desi, guest host for the lovely Andrea Lawful Sanders, having an amazing time. And I am about to wrap up my time with my amazing, illustrious men who are walking in their kingship, my brothers, beloved, who I am so very proud of, even more proud, because now I know that there are people who have never heard your voices and are proud of you just because you are standing up for the word of God and doing the work. Now I want to make sure that we answer those questions, and I want each of you to highlight what you are doing, because that was the basis of my choice for having you today. The folks that you are hearing from today take a non-traditional approach to helping, and they are doing it with their whole hearts, and so I want to do that. Had on the table that we need to address one more time about bridging. We did bridging the gap, but if you'd like to touch on that, you're more than welcome. But we need to talk about the ability to stop gentrification. We don't want to disqualify any of those other questions that came forth. Again, I took the liberty of taking away the question of should a pastor have a job, as that is a choice, and it depends on the stability of the ministry. So as you answer the question, pastors, make sure that you also then take the liberty to say what you are doing and expound on those things that your ministry is doing. Pastor Stewart, did you want to continue, or would you like to pass off?
Absolutely. I wanted to give that teaser on the front end, Desiree. That was for you. But as I was mentioning, Dr. Howard Thurman, a great theologian and a scholar, once stated, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. I want to build upon that just in 2 minutes by answering both Maurice and Prince's question, but also talk about the work that we're doing at Taylor. Because over the last 11 years, we've been able to really find out and really discern what helps us to come alive as a church, and what's helped me to come alive as a pastor, to really address the needs of the Nicetown community and the city at large. 2 pieces I just want to discuss, and that is our commitment to engaging with community. And that was part of Prince's question around how are we bridging the gap with young people. Next month, second Sunday of September, I'll celebrate 11 years as Pastor Taylor. And the Lord laid on my heart to, for the month of August, to spend 31 days in the streets of Philadelphia on some of the most busiest, well-populated corners that are known for young people to frequent, some of those young people who are engaged in drug sales, some who are self-identified with groups committing gun violence in the city. Every night from 9 p.m. to about 11 or 12 midnight, I've gone out. Joined with me have been other faith leaders, colleagues in ministry, as well as a couple of juvenile lifers, individuals who were sentenced to life as juveniles, have since come home because of the change in the law that has allowed them to come home. And then and many of them who are now have started organizations to really mentor young people. They've joined me out on the corners, as well as parents who have lost children to gun violence this year. We've gone out to engage as faith and community-based organizations in a collaborative way with young people to listen to them, but also to hear just what they need. And it has blown their mind to see a pastor, a faith leader, someone who represents the church at night on busy corners that are for violent crime, and really just coming not with any judgment, not even coming spreading the gospel as relates to preaching it, but coming, listening ear, and
being a human, just coming being a human.
What do you? How can we support? And out of that, and I don't want to give all the results of our work, and I'll wait till the 31st of August to talk about that. But there have been young men and young women who've been able to be connected with employers, some who've been able to be connected with trauma care professionals, some who've been able to be connected with victim service agencies. Because again, I go back to the point that I made earlier today. Our pioneers taught us how to be very balanced as a church, focusing on salvation, focusing on social issues, as well as focusing on sustainability. And so over the next over the 31 days of August, every night from 9 to 12, we're out on the corner, bridging that gap and meeting with these people. Second piece I'll say very quickly is very recently, Taylor Moore Baptist Church has launched a nonprofit arm called Taylor Made Opportunities. And really, it really is a culmination of all of that work. Its focus is on mentoring young people. Its focus is employment and job and career opportunities. We will, through Taylor Made, hold monthly job fairs. Of course, those who know me know that I work in city government and have also been in law enforcement over the last 7 years as a bivocational pastor. And much of the work that I've done has been centered around job fairs and connecting those who are underserved and marginalized and those who are returning citizens to employment and resources. And so Tailor-Made Opportunities will continue to do that work. And then lastly, much of the work Tailor-Made will do is really focused on connecting those who are impacted by gun violence with services through referrals that they may need, again, whether that's trauma support or victim services. So when we talk about bridging the gap, and when we talk about addressing the issues of poverty, I believe that the church has to be on the front line of both advocating and being a prophetic voice, even in government institutions, and challenging government to do its part. That's the job of the church. That's a job that we're doing at Taylor. That's a job that I know that Buster's doing at the Seed and Clarence is doing at Love Zion. But it also means that we have to collaborate, and that's what we're doing, collaborating to make sure that we're bringing those resources, that we're convening those hubs and convening those spaces to bring the resources to the street and to those who need it most.
Yeah, wonderful work's being done. Dr. Wright.
Well, I will pale in comparison coming after Pastor Stewart because he is doing everything. But we've talked a lot about already about the Center for Economic Empowerment. That is what we launched to deal with the economic issues in our community. And let's be clear, gentrification is an economic issue in our community.
Come on.
Gentrification hits very close to home. I have been on both sides of the issue of gentrification. I started my career, I've heard some of your radio ads talking about the West Oak Lane neighborhood. I started my career living and working on Ogons Avenue and managing that district in West Oak Lane, right there at 72nd and Ogons. And then I went to Wilmington, Delaware, and I actually managed the development of the downtown of Wilmington, Delaware. I got into that field with the intention of helping the community. And then eventually I realized my good intentions led me to the dark side.
My God.
Because a lot of the organizations,
some want to be human.
A lot of the organizations that are coming in the name of community development, community improvement, they are actually working not to improve the community, but to gentrify the community. And there's a very distinct difference between the two. So, part of our launching of the Center for Economic Empowerment is what I have learned over the years, and that is that you cannot develop communities without developing people.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter it doesn't matter how pretty you make the buildings. If people can't afford to live in them, it doesn't matter how nice and paved the roads and sidewalks and crosswalks are. It doesn't matter what kind of nice lighting you put on the streets. If the people have not been developed, the community is the people that live in the community. So if we really want to develop the community, we have to develop the people. We have to make sure they have access to jobs like what Pastor Stewart is doing. We have to make sure that if they have issues with their records, help them to expunge the records so that they can get a job, or train them so that they can go into entrepreneurship and understand that if you can't get a job from someone, there are resources available to help train you so that you can start your own business. These are some of the things that will help to lift us out of poverty in our community. Some of the things that we've been working on doing at Love Zion.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is this: I would love for more churches to get involved with doing work for gentrification, but sadly, churches have been victims of gentrification, just like everyone else, because churches are part of the community. I can name dozens of churches in the city of Philadelphia that have been displaced or had to close down or had to sell their building to a developer. Just in North Philly, a short ride around North Philly, you can point out historic churches that used to be building the community that have now been pushed out of that community because of gentrification. And that is the reality of the situation we're in. And that goes back to, you can't have it both ways. You can't say the church needs to do this and we're not supporting the church, because then the church, that should be an instrument of change, ends up being swallowed up in the very issues that are swallowing the very community. It's happening in Philly, it's happening in Washington, D.C., it's happening in Brooklyn and Harlem and all over this country. So we have to understand that gentrification is a line that we need to hold. But I know we're doing our best to hold that line, and there are many other churches that are doing their best to invest in the community. The next big thing, as I mentioned, that we're looking toward is, what are we going to do about this eviction moratorium? Because there's going to be a flood. Mark my words, in the coming months, there will be a flood of people needing housing, people in transition, or people going from being fully housed into homelessness.
Got you.
So our churches need to get together and figure out ways that we can address this. I'm also, in addition to pastoring Love Zion, I'm the chair of an organization called Chosen 300. Chosen 300 is an organization that not only feeds the needy, but they also have programs with expungement for those with records. We have job training, haircuts, and clothing for those who are going to get for interviews and things of that nature. So there are many ways to address it. There's not one way, and I think Pastor Buster said this, there's not one way to do ministry.
Yeah.
The key is, and Pastor Stewart's mentioned this as well, find something that you're good at, work that. No one can do
rocket science.
No one can do everything. We cannot address every issue. And now in this day, when the internet has pushed everything to the forefront, there is cause fatigue now. It doesn't matter what you do, somebody's going to say you should be doing this or you should be doing that, or what about this? But the reality is, we need to find something that we're good at and work that as hard as we can. But while we're doing that, we can also support those doing the work that you might not be as good at.
Yeah.
So if we can work our piece of land and we can support those who are doing areas that we may not be as strong in, then that is the definition of community, and we can do it together and make this a better place.
Yes, indeed. Oh, goodness. Thank you so much so far, Pastor G. Lamar Stewart, Dr. Wright. These answers are good. Again, I pick these people because they are doing the work, guys. They are in the streets. They're making it happen. Just to piggyback on that support thing, Dr. Wright, I remember the march after the riot. Y'all remember last year? The march. And so, Mother knows, I understand. Mother didn't have the whole Broad Street in her, huh? Shout out to Pastor Buster, who walked it in church shoes, huh? Anyway, Mother knew that she didn't have all that in her. So what did I do? I said, you know what? I'm going to load up my truck with water and chips and candy and orange juice and sanitizer and wipes, and we're going to stop along the way. And when I saw folks getting weary, I was a support vehicle. But it's a testament to what you just said, Dr. Wright. Do what you can do. I know what I can do well. I can cater to people and I nurture folk. I couldn't hug everybody, but I can give you a little orange juice. Amen. And so I did what I could do, and it wound up being necessary. And I still felt useful, although my feet were not treading the ground. And so to those of you who are listening, do your part. Baby steps are steps. Every little piece counts. And from a programmatic perspective, I dare not say that Phil Abundance Community Kitchen is a program in the city of Philadelphia that has free job training, culinary arts, life skills assistance, the entire square block of 10th and Dolphin, brand new building, state of the art, absolutely free. Phil Abundance Community Kitchen. You go on philabundance.org. You can click on PCK. That's what we call it. Absolutely free for those who are low to no income, specializing in returning citizens. Could not let that programmatic piece go by without shouting out Phil Abundance Community Kitchen. Pastor Buster, take us home. What are you doing? Because I know the work you're doing. I want to say this because you might forget to say this. You've done a lot. I've seen a lot. We ain't even talking about the singing. And so you show enough singing, you show enough commune, okay? But this is what I saw you do that made me happy. I don't know if the person in your community was a tagger. And when I say tagger, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about somebody that does like graffiti. But turning something that has been negative in our communities and giving a tagger the opportunity to purposefully tag your gate. Do artwork on your gate so that that creative ability and that energy could be used and dedicated appropriately, but giving that person an outlet, a non-traditional outlet to one, demonstrate their art, but then to get it out. You know what I mean? And then be representative of the community. So I will start there. And that's just a piece of the work that's being done. Please continue.
Awesome. Yeah, that was actually a very interesting experience because we actually got in contact with the actual tagger. You know, and as the young people say, I slid in his DM.
Come on.
With the Bible, I love the Bible because we always can just know how to live according to the word. And he said, with loving kindness have I drawn you. And I didn't slide in his inbox and say, hey, I'm going to send the police to your house, or I want to find you. Or I say, hey, man, I heard this what you did, but you could have did a better job. Let's meet and let's make this. And not only did, here we go, economics, not only did I not get him to give us the moral that we desired, I also paid him for his services. Now, from that opportunity, he has created an Instagram account and has his own business where he goes around and does mural art through spray paint with that opportunity. Now, that's not something that we promoted. That's not something that we put a banner out there and said we did this, because that's not the purpose. So for those who say, oh, y'all not doing, or we are doing, but maybe we're so busy doing that we don't have a lot of time to post. I'll let that sit there. All right. So we're also doing the food programs. I see my brothers on here, and Phil Abundance is represented on here. The food program that we were connected to did shut down because of governmental issues. So we're now literally working, trying to connect with another distribution or nonprofit that will assist us in that, because our community is crying. They need assistance because, as our brother Clarence Ryder stated, those funds is running out. Those PUAs is running out. Those PPPs is running out. Those SBAs illegally is running out. And now people are needing the same thing they drove past. You know, some things took me 8 hours to get rid of boxes of food. Now the same boxes of food that they drove past, they're knocking on our doors, emailing us, calling us. So that's because things are running out. And we don't look at that moment to say, hey, you should have took advantage. No. Let's do the trick. So we do the food programs. And also I stand strong on what the Bible says, man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. So I believe that not only we need to do the food giveaways, but we need to teach the people the word of God. Hallelujah. The word tells us that what does it profit a man to gain the whole world, but to lose his soul? You need the word. It's the word that's going to bring you healing, deliverance, and salvation. So in our relaunch at the Ambassador Seed of Love Church, aka the Seed or Home of the Green Carpet, we have instituted so many methods of impartation through the word of God. On Mondays and Fridays, we have instituted midday manna. Thursdays, we have prayer time. Wednesdays, we have worship on Wednesday. We have relaunched our Sunday school experience on Sunday and our C-Zone because the children need the word. Let's get them off the iPad. Church is not playtime. Church is not what they call it, Chuck E. Cheese. This is the time for you to learn the word of the Lord. Amen. I'm very old school in some of my methods. So I believe that the children need to get the word of God. So we have instituted not only just secular or social activities to get the engagement of people, but we have also tried to get the engagement of them through the word of God. So if you're looking for an unforgettable experience, you can always stop at 1718-22 Susquehanna Avenue at 1145 to experience what the Lord is doing at the home of the green carpet.
Praise the Lord. Oh my goodness. That's just what I was doing. You did a perfect segue. I just wanted everybody to know how to get in touch with you guys. And again, I chose men who are walking in their kingship. I honor you, my brothers. You guys know, look, I'm a phone call away. These my friends. You know what I'm saying? These my folks. So I love the work that you are doing, but I want everybody to know how to get in touch with you. And for the people who are not on the live broadcast, let me be clear. The median age of this wisdom is maybe 27, and that's a median age, okay, which means in the middle. So we got some young buck. We ain't got no old hair, but the median age. So what am I saying that for? For those people that think that there's a certain generation that don't have the oil or the wisdom, you are sadly mistaken. Not only do they have the oil, but they are doing the work. How can they get in touch with you, Dr. Wright and Pastor G. Lamar Stewart?
Well, we're at Love Zion Baptist Church, 2521 North 23rd Street, on the corner of 23rd and Sargent. Sargent, if you're not local and don't know where Sargent is, that's between Sedgley and Lehigh.
Make it plain.
On 23rd Street. Buster got the green carpet, we got the purple carpet. We both making it happen in North Philadelphia. So we're glad to have anyone. We're on all social media platforms at Love Zion Philly. Facebook at Love Zion Philly, YouTube at Love Zion Philly. Website is lovezion.org. We have, if you want to come out and you don't want to come to church on Sunday, August 28th, we have a community empowerment festival where we're going to have a lot of those resources that we've been talking about. We're shutting down the street on 23rd Street. That's a great time to come out because I really believe that we are a church for the community. I'm pastor. If you live in this area, I don't care if you're Muslim, atheist, anybody, I'm your pastor if you live near this church because we're here to serve the community. So August 28th, we're going to have a lot of those resources. So I give you a personal invitation. Whoever's listening, you can come and join us, and hopefully you can walk away with a job, with another resource that can help you get through and make it, but also just be empowered so that you're not just married, but you're really living in abundance, which is what we pray for you.
Wonderful. And last but not least, Pastor G. Lamar Stewart, how can I get in touch with you?
Certainly. Taylor Memorial Baptist Church. We are located in the historic Nicetown section of the city. Our address is 3819 Germantown Avenue. You can reach us by phone at 215-221-6100. You can reach us on social media. We're on Facebook at TMBC Philly. That's TMBC Philly. And then you also can follow me on IG or on Facebook at G. Lamar Stewart Sr. Pastor Buster has the green carpet. Clarence has the purple carpet. We have red padded pews and wood floors. I is a Baptist, and so we believe in the blood and the cross. And so, thank you for the opportunity, Desi, for welcoming me today.
So welcome. This is a wonderful way to jump right into our commercial break. Joe, I heard that you hung up, but listen, you can call me back after the commercial break. Guys, I love you from a deep place. I'm so happy to be able to see you. We are amongst the land of the living, and I don't take that for granted. I love you guys so much. We are, and you are tuned into WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Stay close.
In Pennsylvania, it's now illegal to sell tobacco products, including cigarettes, cigars, chewing tobacco, vapes, or electronic cigarettes to anyone under 21. Stores can get fined up to $1,000 for selling tobacco to someone who is underage. Know the law. Check IDs. Post your retailer license. Make sure only employees have access to tobacco products and only sell tobacco products to customers aged 21 and older. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Hi, I'm Patty LaBelle. Now, cooking is all about time. Like when it's time to add some salt, time to add some oregano, and when it's time to take it off the burner. Since we're all getting a little older, it's time to get screened for cancer. It could save your life, and it's easier than ever. We'll help you find a screening location that works for you at timetoscreen.org. It's just like cooking, honey. When it's time, it's time. Just call 1-855-53-SCREEN.
Brought to you by Cancer Care and the Community Oncology Alliance.
Family Therapy, Vignette Moments with Dr. Lucille Ijoy.
This is a rap about voting, registering, and voting. It's called A Two-Step by Lucille Ijoy and Bill Jolly. Everybody knows Bill Jolly. Listen to Grandmama and take this special note. Step 1 is registration. Step 2, go out and vote. It's called a two-step. It's called a two-step. Calling all citizens, don't you delay. It's time to do the two-step and do it right away. You say you want to have your say. You say you want to change. Well, get up off your duff. You have the power to arrange. Listen to Grandmama and take the special note. Step 1, registration. Step 2, go out and vote. Step 1, registration. Step 2, go out and vote. It's called a two-step. It's called a two-step.
Hi, I'm Sarah Lomax Reese, President and CEO of WURD. We're gearing up for our annual Founders Day celebration honoring the life and legacy of my dad, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD. He was a man of many talents, a physician, entrepreneur, philanthropist, the founder of WURD, and most importantly to me, a great father. This year on Wednesday, August 25th from 5 to 6 p.m., the evening before our Founders Day celebration and street naming ceremony honoring my dad, we'll be hosting a virtual members-only conversation with the Lomax family. That's right. Me, my mom, and my brothers and sisters will gather to reflect on our father's amazing career and life. So WURD members, come hang out with me and my family on Wednesday, August 25th. RSVP today because space is limited. Go to wordradio.com and click on the Founders Day member-only event banner or call 215-425-7875. We hope to see you there.
You're listening to The Source on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. What's going on? It's your girl, Desi. I'm guest hosting for Andrea Lawful Sanders on The Source. And let me tell you, this conversation, this day, you know, I thought yesterday was the bomb. And it was. I'm not taking anything away from yesterday, but today has been a really, really good day. Had some amazing guests that just departed the show. And once again, thank you to my brothers. Want to remind you of who was here with us. Pastor G. Lamar Stewart of the Taylor Memorial Baptist Church was here. Pastor Dr. Clarence E. Wright was here from the Love Zion Baptist Church, and Pastor Edward Busta Fields of the Apostolic Seed of Love Ministries. One thing that Pastor Busta didn't mention is that he is a wonderful singer. They call him the Lost Winin. Some of you guys may have seen him on this last season of, what do you call that, Sunday's Best. And so he represented Philadelphia well, doing his thing. He loves to sing, as do I. Guys, this conversation about where are the pastors, I really respect the phone calls. Like, I respect the questions and the comments that you guys had. And I love the fact that you can tell that you were really listening. You know what I mean? You weren't listening with the ear of judgment, but you were listening to hear if these folks who were talking had studied to show themselves approved. And you were right. They were able to answer their questions. They were able to give, answers that were palatable and made sense. You know what I mean? And so I commend my brothers. Shout out to the callers. You already know how I roll. I love giving love because you guys take the time to make the phone calls. All right. So to Ron and Doc and Maurice. Also, I heard Zaire call in and Cliff. We had 2 Tyrones to call in. We had Prince to call in. We had Diane. We had Dwayne. We had George. And we had Joe. Now, we lost Joe, on the tail end, because I wanted to make sure and ensure that the pastors were able to talk about the good work that they were doing in the community and to be really clear that they're not just here talking, that I wanted you to know what they're doing so that if you heard a resource that could be of value to you, right, that you could take and, be benefactors of those resources. And so I hope that you guys were listening, taking your notes like I always do, and learning of the resources that are there. So thank you so much for calling in. If you'd like to call now, the number is 215-634-8065. If you'd like to give your feedback on what you heard on the show today, on if you enjoyed yourself, or if you're like, Desi, I wish y'all had time to talk about this, because again, they are my brothers beloved. They are people that I can call and say, hey, there was another question, and make sure that they get in contact with you to give you that answer. Again, the number to call if you'd like to comment or question is 215-634-8065. A few takeaways, right? A few nuggets that we actually got were that pastors are essential workers. I love that. There's something about, I think Dr. Buster, look, I'd have elevated you, Pastor. Pastor Buster said that pastors are essential workers. And I think, and it's taking nothing away. So shout out to the medical community, because I take nothing away from you guys, especially now, as we are approaching this, yet another wave, right, of this pandemic. And so it's taking nothing away from medical professionals. But yeah, pastors should be, right, essential workers, because they should be out and doing the work of the church. So that was a nugget that I took away from the conversation. Also, another nugget that I wrote down was to make sure pastors that are listening, or any kind of faith leaders, that you are catering to the whole person, right? And then meeting people where they are. I'll be honest, I have a really big problem with the turkey drives, the frozen turkey giveaways. And I'll be honest. And so I feel like I have, the right to have this issue as someone who has been in social services and human services for over 20 years. I know that you guys may know me from radio, but I've been a social worker for the longest time, from everything from HIV/AIDS social work on now to, hunger relief as a part of Phil Abundance as operations manager. And so it's important for me to make sure that the whole person is being catered to. Back to what I just said about the frozen turkey drives, it pains me, because let's be clear, someone who is in that much of need, so you give me a frozen turkey and I cook it in what? You know what I'm saying? I don't get the logic. I don't get it. I would be, if so you say, Desi, well, what would you do then? Okay, cool. I'm so glad you asked. I would have the food cooked. I would have an organization that they can have a ticket. So as needed, you give 10 meal tickets, and as you desire food, so that you are not on the corner of, 3rd and Spring Garden with your bucket. As you need, as you desire, all you do is go into said place that is a participant of that collaborative effort. You present your ticket and you're eating. You know what I'm saying? You're not taking a turkey, which if you have some sort of substance abuse issue or an MH issue, would give you the desire to possibly sell it to get what you were in need of in the first place. And so that is my personal views, and of course not the views of WURD, but I don't get the frozen turkeys. And I'll keep it 100% real. I have been privy, to conversations of those who have not needed, who will send multiple grandkids or nieces or nephews to go down and stock the deep freezer. Now come on and let's call it what it is. Okay, if we're gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. Well, I'll say it. You don't have to say it. If you are saying it, you're clapping with me. But honey, I'm just not a fan. And not to say that, you know, if that's what you have planned for the coming months, you know, do that. The other thing was all the ministers that just hung up said this too. They said people need to eat in the summertime too. And so I will say that I am seeing more food distribution going on now. You know what I mean? But yeah, so let's think about the boxes. Some of these boxes are pretty heavy. You know, some of the populations that we're targeting, the seniors and all that stuff. If they don't have the rolly cart, if they don't have a young person to carry it, who's carrying it? You know what I'm saying? So there's just a lot of thought that needs to be put in to how we assist. And again, catering to the whole person is really important. Another nugget that I wrote down is that services and education originated from churches and church leadership. Dr. Wright gave so many gems, and I couldn't write fast enough because he was saying, you know, Temple was founded by so-and-so, and this was founded by this kind of organization, and schools, certain schools, and I had no idea, you know what I'm saying? And so it's you know, and unless the school has something in front of it, we kind of disassociate it from being a school that could possibly have been founded by a religious organization. But yeah, like that opened a window of you know, question and just enlightenment for me. So Dr. Wright, I appreciate you for bringing that up. We also talked about pastors who have had to pivot on the dime during this technological age. Think, guys, let's think about it. There are some, you know, brick and mortar churches that they using the same sound system from the 80s. You know what I'm saying? And this 2021. So just imagine, like, so can't go back into my church. We don't have, you know, this tech stuff. We don't have TVs and all this stuff. We've never had to use a computer. There's not many people here who are young enough to know how to use this. And so then how do we sustain our Christian experience if we're not able to log on to, you know, platforms such as Zoom and things of that nature to make sure and ensure that people are still getting to the ministry. And you know, so it's tough. And so shout out to pastors who have, and like the men who just got off said, who have not bumped up the tech for vainglory, right? But for the purposes of really meeting people where they are and sustaining in regard to that. Pastor Stewart, remember he mentioned the 3 pillars. It's salvation, it's social issues, and it's sustainability. The 3 things that he said are really, really a staple in making sure that people are able to be, you know, taken care of in their church experience. We got Viola on the line. She called in yesterday. She's back, y'all. What's up, Viola?
How you doing? I'm so happy that you're there. And
hey.
I just wanted to commend you on today's show. I enjoyed what all those pastors said, and I can relate to a number of those organizations that they spoke about. Hello, nice. WURD family. I don't want to leave out the word family. Hello. And thankful that we can have this conversation on the radio and talk about what's necessary in our lives.
Yes, yes.
And what you were saying, I had been listening to talk radio a long time. And what you just got finished saying about the turkeys and the chickens, Mary Mason used to say some of the same things back in the day when she was on.
Really?
Oh, my goodness, yes. And there's a number of folks that can vouch for what they heard her say. But I feel the same way. I had people call me up and say, oh, they're giving out a box down here in Delaware to church. I don't need it. So what am I going to go get it for? I'm not even going to get it to give to my children because they're not going to eat what's in the box half the time. So therefore, why am I going to get it and hoard food? People get it and they hoard food. And sometimes they got canned goods go into the yin-yang. And they need to really stop just going to get those boxes. I mean, whereas how many of them were giving out boxes, forget they got very good stimulus checks and food stamps and all that kind of stuff. So if they're buying the wrong things, they're spending the money in a way that they need to spend it in a different manner. I mean, you know, I could go on and on for a lot of things. I couldn't call earlier because I was trying to get my grass cut.
Okay.
Just as I finished cutting my grass, it started to rain. It's cold here in Delaware. And I had to, you know, so I have a riding tractor. I couldn't do that because the belt broke. So I had to Oh, my goodness, yes. So I have a guy that'll fix that for me, but I wind up walking the push mower and got the front of it cut, so I got to wait and get it cut the back tomorrow.
Yes.
So, it's okay. But my neighbor cuts my grass for me sometimes, and I didn't want him to cut it. So, I managed to get it cut myself. But anyway, you've just had a great show, and I have enjoyed having you there in place of, what's her name, Andrea. And, it's been fantastic. So I can't wait until Thursday. And
Yay.
All right? But
well, thank you so much.
If I don't call, it's not because I'm not listening.
Okay, good. Very good.
But I might not get a chance to call because I am busy. All right? But
all right,
great
Miss
to have
Viola.
you there, and be safe in those streets. All right.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. God bless you, Miss Viola.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Man, oh man, the love is flowing here, guys. And I feel it. I really, really do feel it. You guys have really made me feel welcome. I am pleased, and I hope that Miss Lawful Sanders is pleased with my work in her absence. And I've just been enjoying my time on The Source. The name alone of the show says that you are looking for some good information, and so I am trying my very best to do that. Thursday, oh man, we heating it up. I supposed to have a love doctor on, so yeah, we're gonna get a little juicy. Yesterday's show was really cool too. If I knew then what I know now, you guys had some really good nuggets, and so yeah. So back to today's show. So just going down the list, I love to take notes, especially when I'm listening to people who are, dropping gems and giving wisdom. And so we were finally talking about, like pastors that had to pivot on the dime, and in regard to the technological age, then those three pillars of what church should be, which are sustainability, social issues, and salvation. Like you've taken care of the whole person, which we said before we went over. We even tapped into, and shout out to the people who called in and talked about this, with all the work that's being done. Like, these are my brothers beloved. I know that they're doing the work, but there are still people who live under the auspices of, I'm not helping, I'm not doing anything because the pastor has a Lexus. And so Dr. Wright, he and Pastor G. Lamar Stewart, they are bivocational. What does that mean? They have jobs, right? They're not just pastors. They have to have jobs because most of the churches are unable to sustain an annual salary for a pastor, right? And so they have to have jobs. So some of them, like, look, Dr. Wright said his wife is an engineer. Let's be clear. The coin is flowing. Like, it's all right. So they all right. They can do the Lexus thing because the coin is flowing. And so we got to stop looking, at the outside and really test them by their work. Like, see, look at the life. And if the life ain't matching up, then we got something to say because we have something to stand on and say it, right? But Lynn, know that there are a lot of pastors that are bivocational. They have to have a job, they have to work. But the church is so much of their passion that they refuse to release that passion, and not get things done in regard to the church. And so shout out to those faith leaders, and not just pastors. Again, we were talking about imams and folks at the masjid and priests. I'm talking to everybody, you know what I mean, who has had to struggle through the community and wear a crown that's gone unnoticed. You are noticed, and you matter here. You matter with your girl Desi. So very excited. Got a few more nuggets when I come back on the other side. I'll tease what's going on Thursday. We'll talk about that. Going to show more love to all the callers that called in because I love acknowledging people who are calling in. I'll remind you of a couple things that are going on in the community in regard to WURD. And we'll just kind of close out. And I would love to hear from some of y'all before I go. It will make my day complete. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Stay close.
It's dependable. Perfect for my lifestyle.
No tengo auto.
It's easy. Makes the most sense for me.
23 minutes door to door. It's fast.
Do you know how expensive parking is?
To make the most of your money and time,
SEPTA's the simple way to go. Plan your trip at iSEPTAPhilly.com.
I'm Bill Hite, Superintendent of the School District of Philadelphia. I'm excited to tell you that we will ring the bell on our first day of school on Tuesday, August 31st. Full day, in-person learning, 5 days a week. We've been preparing for a healthy and safe return to our schools. Learn more about our efforts at philasd.org/ringthebell. That's philasd.org/ringthebell. See you on August 31st.
Enterprise Exterminators, located at 4943 Wayne Avenue, has been in business since 1976 and can eliminate whatever pest problems you have. Enterprise specializes in bed bugs, lanternflies, and termites. Call for your free termite inspection today. Do-it-yourself kits are available. Enterprise Exterminators, servicing Philadelphia, Delaware, and New Jersey. Call now, 215-849-7070. Ask us about the WURD and senior discounts.
You know that feeling? Like every door is closing and you just can't see a way out? Being unemployed, underemployed, or just out of school can feel like that. But when you find the right tools, suddenly everything just clicks. FindSomethingNew.org offers resources that help develop new skills. Skills that can position you for careers in today's growing industries, from healthcare and manufacturing to cybersecurity and alternative energy. Find your path to a new career at FindSomethingNew.org. A message from the Ad Council.
The Black Words Book Club. Word Radio's conversation on books that explore the African American experience through social, economic, and environmental justice issues. Tune in the second Tuesday of every month on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. The Black Words book for September is Race Against Time, The Politics of a Darkening America by Keith Boykin. Be sure to listen live as Nick Taliaferro will hold a contest for a giveaway book bundle that consists of 4 titles from Kensington's Defina's Authors of Color's newest release. Don't miss it. Tuesday, September 14th on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Attention for Word members. Get your copy and receive a 20% discount when you purchase at Harriet's Bookstore or Hakeem's Bookstore. For more information on the Black Words Book Club, visit wordradio.com. The Black Words Book Club is sponsored by Defina. Defina is an imprint of Kensington Publishing Corporation, America's independent publisher, concentrating on authors of color.
You're listening to The Source on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM, WURD.
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. What's up? It's your girl, Desi. Guest hosting for Andrea Lawful Sanders on The Source, and my wish has come true. I asked you guys to call in and give me some little final remarks, and I'm so happy that you're called in. Got 3 people on the line. Please, pretty please don't hang up because I want to talk to all of you. Got Brother X, I got Maurice, and I got Hamilton. Let's go to the line right now. Hey, Brother X.
Did you talk to Tyrone? We all love Tyrone.
How are you?
Hey, I'm slow, but I'm sure. You got some big shoes to fill there, but you're doing a good job.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was a sharp brother you had on yesterday, and he appeared very real. And boy, that beard he had, man, that beard, man, that beard looked like it came out of a picture book. Boy, that was a sharp beard.
Yes, indeed. Boy, he's a good brother, too.
Boy, they got some bad sisters in Philly. Man, just seeing a few of y'all. They must be raising y'all on a farm up there.
Oh, my goodness.
Boy, y'all some bad sisters. Now,
well,
on religion, the most religious people in the world is in the bottom of the ship.
My
Karl
God.
Marx said religion is the opium for the masses. But that's not to complain or talk about people who enter religion.
Yeah,
whatever turn them on. But the most religious people in the world is at the bottom. Wherever you go, and that's what you're going to see. Well, sister, I just want to thank you for taking this call, and I just want to let you know you're doing a good job. You all are beautiful. You had some big shoes to fill, and you are filling them. And I just want you to keep up the good work.
Thank you so kindly. I appreciate you, Brother
Thank
X.
you,
Please have a wonderful day.
You too, darling.
All right, we got Maurice, and then we got Hamilton. Hamilton, don't hang up. We're going to Maurice. Hey, Reese.
Hey, how you doing today?
Hey, how are you?
Now, I was listening to the show. I was doing another project, but I had several of my associates tell me, put the radio on. You need to listen to this.
Wow.
And that's how powerful your show was today, because they called and stopped me from what I was doing and tell me, you missing out.
Wow.
They actually heard preachers not asking for $100 million and they don't have no plan.
Let me. You know what I'm saying, Maurice? Exactly.
If you want the $100 million, at least have a plan.
Exactly.
Tell us what you're going to do with that.
I invited them. Yep.
Now, I've been promoting myself about 2 years ago. How come they don't have a large summer job program for these kids? They have something to do. And they can clean up their own neighborhood. And then if they start cleaning it for money, maybe they'll keep it going. You know what I mean? They have something they know, our neighborhood could be beautiful. Or put money in our black business districts. Yeah, build it up. Like before Nutter decided to take down all the atriums on 52nd Street and make it look like garbage. But what I'm saying is I love the word from the preachers that there was actually talking about the Lord for finally once. And not talking about how much money they can get from the mayor. And I really appreciate you putting them on, because we haven't heard that in a long time on this station. Actually, preachers coming on talking about the Lord, reciting passages, and letting us know that they are with God. I'm not a godly guy, but it affected me so much that people were calling me. I just had to call in and let you know you're doing an excellent job bringing the streets to the street. And I really appreciate it. Because I'm in the streets. I can live somewhere else. I don't have to live in Southwest, but all my communications are in Southwest, and I love my people. And the one thing I would like to see in closing, I would like to see the black preachers start opening up stores in the neighborhood for people, so we can, so y'all young people can see that black people actually own something.
I'm going to make sure those 3 pastors know, and thank you so much, Maurice, for your encouragement. Have a great day, bro. All right, last but definitely not least, Hamilton. Hey, Hamilton.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I'm sad about this America today, because if you look at Philadelphia, we have all these homeless laying on the streets of Philadelphia, and where's the church? You know, we're supposed to have love. And God says you don't even know him, Jeremiah 22:16, unless you care about the afflicted and the needy. And where's the church? Where's the love? And also, Zechariah 7, God asks us to practice kindness. Where's the church? If we're Christians, you should be walking downtown and seeing, I see people with wheelchairs, white, black, poor people, young, laying on the streets.
You're absolutely right.
Y'all don't know how evil we are?
Hamilton, question for you. Question, are you just tuning in? Like, did you just start tuning in right now?
Yeah.
Because, Hamilton, let me tell you something. You missed it. I hear you, Hamilton, and you're right. Your question is valid. That was the theme of today's show. But for the whole last 3 hours, we have been asking that question. I brought pastors on the show who are in the streets doing the work so that your question could be validly answered. And there are some that are doing it. I agree there needs to be more. But if you have the ability to listen back and play it back on Facebook, I promise you, you really enjoy and get a lot of good nuggets out of the show.
I want to see it. It's easy to see. They're not doing it. And people, God has blessed this country with everything we need, and people don't care about people. They don't have love. How are you going to heaven without love? How are you going? How are you going to go?
Some are doing it. I promise you, Hamilton, some are doing it. I promise you.
I see it every day. They're not doing it. No way.
Okay. Well, I will keep, how about this? I'll keep holding them to the ground and making sure that the ones that I know, making sure they do it. Is that a deal?
Yeah, get them started, please.
Okay. Will do. Thank you, Hamilton.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a great day. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are just tuning in, yes, as a reminder, I hear you. And I know some of you were like, you may feel like Hamilton feels, well, where's the love and who's getting it done? Like I said, go on to social media, go on Facebook, go back. You can, the cool thing about this is progressive Black talk media, right? So that's all encompassing. It's not just radio. You can go on Facebook, you can go on TV, you can see this. So you can go on Facebook later. You can play this whole show back where you can hear my brothers, my good brothers, who I know hit the streets and get it done, who gave valid answers, who gave, you know, practical information about some of the things that you, your grandkids, your cousins, your uncles may need, your brothers, sisters, daughters may need in order to really be able to come up in the world. And so there are some people who are doing it. I am having an amazing time. I'm back with y'all on Thursday, baby. We're going to turn it up a little bit higher. And so I love the fact that you guys have been supporting me. Got to give my shout outs. You know how I love to shout people out. These are the people that took the time to call today, and I thank you. Ron and Doc and Maurice, Zaire and Cliff. We got 2 Tyrones. We got Prince. We got Diane. We had George. We had Joe. We had Viola. We had Brother X. We had another Maurice. And we closed out our calls with Hamilton. I'm your girl Desi, and how you can get in touch with me is on Instagram at YaBigGirl, YaBigGirl. Now let me tell you about the big girl thing. So yes, I am a plus size girl. She's cute. She's fluffy. But BIG is an acronym that I created to encourage women. It stands for beautiful, intelligent, and gifted. BIG stands for beautiful, intelligent, and gifted. And so I go by the big girl so I can encourage other girls, not just big, okay, not just big in size, that they should be living a big life, beautiful, intelligent, and gifted life. On Facebook, I'm Desiree Desi Neal. Just type in Desi and you will see me there. Also, you can check me out. If you check me out on Instagram and social media on Facebook, you can see where you can continue to hear my voice because I am on other radio outlets so that you can experience me Monday through Friday and on the weekends. And then also, if you're interested in getting in touch with me, DesiBooking@gmail.com for hosting or any kind of events that you need me to do or just to come out and experience what you have going on, we can talk about that. DesiBooking@gmail.com, DEZZIE booking@gmail.com. Today, we discussed where is the church. Today, we got the answers. Where is the church? Today, we held people to their word. Today, my brothers beloved showed up and showed out and represented not only the kingdom of God, but they represented the city of Philadelphia. They represented their family names. They represented the culture, and they did it with style and grace. Last but not least, shout out. I'm going to name my brothers once again. To my pastor, Pastor G. Lamar Stewart of the Taylor Memorial Baptist Church, to Pastor Dr. Clarence E. Wright of the Love Zion Baptist Church, and to Pastor Edward Buster Fields of the Apostolic Seed of Love Ministries. I commend you on your work. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for being bold enough to answer the questions. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. I hope you enjoyed my time on The Source today. Thank you, Andrea Lawful Sanders, for giving me this opportunity to guest host for you. And yeah, I don't take it lightly, as y'all can see, because I'm trying to do the doggone thing. Get your girl Desi, and y'all know what to do. Till next time, holla at your big girl that's beautiful, intelligent, and gifted. Don't you dare get it twisted. This is WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Peace.